that I should've made pay for it. Got girls that I should've made wait for it. I got girls that I cancel a flight.
Guess who's back?
Crush a bit, little bit, roll it up, take a hit, feeling lit, feeling right, 2 a.m. summer night, I don't care, hand on the wheel, driving drunk, I'm doing my thing, rolling the mid beside and now, living my life, getting out drunk. A piece of your heart, a piece of your love, I'm pulling you up to get down, down, down. The way that we touch is never enough, turning you up to get down, down, down. I'm screaming out, fuck that. Put your hands up, put your hands up. Let's give it up.
Now this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me. I said this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me.
And when the night falls, loneliness calls. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel like it with somebody. Yeah, I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me.
Last night we let the liquor talk. I can't remember everything we said, but we said it all. You told me that you wish I was somebody you never met. But baby, baby, something's telling me this ain't over yet. No way it was our last night. No way it was our last
I
night.
wanna feel the need with somebody.
No way it was the last night.
Yeah, I wanna dance with somebody.
No way it was our last night.
That motherfucker back there is not real.
Your sky full of stars. It's all you.
With somebody who loves me. So I'll put my faith in something unknown. Living on the side of nothing. But I'm tired of hope with nothing to hold. Living on the side of nothing.
Yeah, bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. I let all that get to my head. I don't care, I think it's on bed. Bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. I let all that get to my head. I don't care, I think it's on bed.
And it's hard to love, and it's hard to love. And you're giving me such sweet
Better than anything and everything you have done. Bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. I let all that get to my head. I don't care, I think it's on bed. Bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. I let all that get to my head. I don't care, I think it's on bed.
Take it up. Slow, steady, undress, impress. Take it up. Slow, steady, undress, success.
You got a fast car, and I wanna take it to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. I ain't proud of all the punches that I've thrown. In the name of someone I no longer know. For the shame of being drunk and alone. Traffic lights in the transmitter radio. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast, it felt like I was drunk.
Nothing that if I tell everyone how I made this money, that it's going to affect me in any sort of way. AMD, if we get a quick little pop above $12, I'm thinking about maybe a quick little short over on AMD. Finger on the trigger to lock in profits when it starts moving back on up. Here we go. Nice job. Let's take it. $979 in profit. Look at this spike, baby. Taking some gains right off the top right here. 124,000.
You just gotta know what you're doing.
200
Every single person can be successful.
dollars in profit.
There's no reason for you not to become a full-time
Now
trader.
we're currently up
Even if you have
$2,100. Let's just keep it going even more. I want every single person. Now we're up $2,500. Now we're going up to $117.40.
It's not like it's a competition. It's if I tell you how I was able to do this,
$100
go out, make that money, make a killing, and let's all absolutely crush it together.
Let's go, baby. Let's see this thing keep unfolding even farther here. We're up $1,100 within the first 5 minutes of the day. I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Traders, whoa, traders. I told you guys here yesterday, I said we start making some nice money, I'm buzzing my hair off. I'm committed to the journey. I'm committed to the trades. I'm committed to what we're doing right here and right now. We got a big day. Big Friday. What do we call Fridays here, guys? We call them free weekend Fridays. Free weekend Fridays because we want to make as much money today and right now to pay for our entire weekend. That's what we're looking for. So can we do it? That's the magic question. Well, let's just take a little bit of a step back here. Yesterday, if you guys were not here, we absolutely crushed it as we usually do. We were able to make $1,020 in the stock market. So let's just recap our week so far. Monday, we made $550 in the stock market. Tuesday, we were able to make $1,700 in the stock market. Wednesday was Juneteenth. Thursday, we made $1,020 in the stock market. Right now at this moment, we are sitting with about $3,300 on the week. Perfect goal today is to break $5,000. Can we break $5,000 on the week? That's what I want to do, averaging $1,000 per day, even with the holiday that we had, and I'm pumped and ready to rock and roll on this day. Guys, shout out to everyone joining us here. I hope you guys are ready to rock and roll, and I hope you guys are ready to get after it because, baby, it's game time. It's game time. It's time to get after this market. So let's get dialed in here. All right, turning off the music right here as we get ourselves all set and ready to go here. Team, let's see where again this momentum is going to take us. Let's see what type of hype, what type of action, what type of momentum we have on this day. I'm gonna lay it out to you guys so it's very simple, very easy, and every single trader understands what we have. What we have right now at this moment, it is Friday. Fridays, we have lack of press releases, we have lack of news, we have lack of filings. But what I want you guys to realize is today is a quadruple witching day. Quadruple witching day. And when we have a quad witching day here, that is going to be able to lead towards more dropping. That is going to lead towards more selling. That is going to be leading towards most likely a red day in the market. So let's talk about what we have at this time and break it all on down. So let's head on over to CNBC and basically just see what we have at this moment. Couple things says, experts say Shein's US IPO is all about dead. Didn't even hear about that. Forever 21 seeks rent concessions as fashion brand faces financial woes. Okay, $2 billion Baltimore bridge rebuild test is underway. And then, of course, we have some updates on the S&P 500. So what do we have right here? It says the S&P 500 futures ticked were slightly lower on Friday after the broad market bench briefly climbed about 5,500 for the first time. The S&P 500 inched lower by 0.1%. The S&P 500 closed 0.25% lower on Thursday. At its highs of the day, the broad market index was up as much as 0.34%, reaching 5,503. Nvidia fell another 1.5% before the bell, looking poised to build on a 3.5% loss from Thursday. Nonetheless, the chip maker is still up more than 160% year to date, and it briefly beat Microsoft as the most valuable public company on Tuesday. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely love this. I absolutely love what we have at this moment. At this moment, going into this day, we had a little bit of falling and fading yesterday. Now, if anyone was not here yesterday, I didn't trade all of yesterday morning. Because if anyone's coming back right now and say, Dek, I was here yesterday morning. When did you make $1,000? I jumped back on the mic for anyone who does not know, and I actually alerted the absolute exact bottom. So yesterday was not me actually doing any sort of put contracts. Yesterday, I did a call contract at 545.20. I have an entire video of it. The low of the day yesterday was at 545.18. I jumped in on call contracts at 545.20, and we actually rode this on up. I was able to make over $1,000 on the day. So it was absolutely beautiful, an absolutely great trade, and now we're excited to see what's going to be coming on with this day today. Now, obviously, as we know, today is a quadruple witching day. We're going to talk about that here in a second, but with the SPY already starting to turn a little bit, this is already leading towards some negative momentum. Let's just take a little bit of a bigger step back here. When we take a large step back, we take a look over on the SPY, and we could see that right here, we do have this big downtrend. This is the downtrend that we have consistently and continuously held. We could see top resistance, top resistance, top resistance, top resistance, and now we're looking for this pop and then some more top resistance. Dek, where is this top at? Right around this 546 mark. So you could see downtrend, downtrend, downtrend. Let's just again play the odds here. I always say play the stock market like a casino, but don't be the tourist, be the house. Place the odds in your favor. Remember, when we trade, we could play the stock market just like a casino, just like we're playing blackjack, but we don't have to put our money out. We can wait until we have our cards dealt to us, look at our cards, and then we could put money out if we want to. If you could play blackjack and just wait until the cards came out, then put money on, it would be the easiest game in the world, because you would only put money out when you have 21, when you have 20, when you have 19. But the issue is we have to put our money out before we get our cards, not in stock trading. In stock trading, I could say to myself right now, okay, I could buy in randomly, or I can notice that every time we hit the purple line, we hit the purple line and fall, and 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 get up near the purple line and fall. We can be able to put the odds in our favor. So let's just take a little screenshot of this right here, and let's see what we have at this moment. So we have a little screenshot of this, and what we can see at this time is top resistance, top resistance, top resistance, top resistance, top resistance. Most likely, we are going to have top resistance, and then we are probably going to have a nice pullback. So if you're telling me this is an opportunity for today, we might as well take advantage of it. If it breaks this line, set a stop loss right here. So let's think about what we could do. We could possibly lose $300 today, but look how much money we could make. We could potentially win about $1,100 today. So if you're telling me you can lose $300, but you can win $1,100, I mean, guys, this is like 3-to-1, 4-to-1 odds right here. This is, very good with our risk and reward. This is giving us a great chance of success and a very minimal amount of risk, because we're getting in at great areas where we believe we can turn at. Just like yesterday, I again got in on the very low of the day because I realized this was an old again bounce area. I realized where our old resistance and old bounce areas were, and that's where I was able to get in at the absolute bottom yesterday to make over $1,000 on the day. Right now, guys, I'm on track to be able to make $250,000 this year going and trading stocks. So we are all about just trading every single day and placing these odds in our favor. So let's talk about this, guys. Now, we do have a big thing today, which is going to be a quad witching or, again, triple witching. I actually have to give a big shout out over here real quickly, guys, because there's a couple of cool things. Did everyone get their Fox Runner? I, again, sent an email out for you guys. This scanner is now live for you guys at this moment. I hope you guys are loving it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. But something that, again, we don't usually look at, which is very cool because it just started on up, is right here. Has anyone checked this out? The news alerts here. And news alerts, let's actually scroll on down, and we saw quad witching day for options. So again, a lot of awesome information right here. Quad witching day for options in the market. So what is this? And we're basically just reading off Fox Runner here at the moment. It says, quad witching day in the market. Quadruple witching is an event in financial markets when 4 different sets of futures and options expire on the same day. Futures and options are derivatives linked to the underlying stock prices. When derivatives expire, traders must close or adjust positions. Quadruple witching refers to simultaneous expirations on stock index futures, stock options single futures, future derivatives contracts 4 times a year. Quadruple witching has given way to triple witching since stock options in the year 2020. This event occurs once every quarter on the third Friday of March, June, September, and December. So simply enough, traders, if you guys do not know, what we have here is we have basically 3 or 4 different options. We have stock index, futures, stock index options, stock options, and single stock future derivative contracts, all again expiring 4 times a year, all on the same date. And right here, you could see it's the June date, which is going to be on the third Friday of March, June, September. And that is today. We do have our 1, 2, 3. This is our third Friday in June. So let's actually keep scrolling on down. What is the volatility like on a quad witching day? The media likes to write that any quadruple witching and options expiration day is a volatile day. Is this correct? There's only one way to find out, and that's to backtest the S&P 500 and the main stock index. The chart below is the average of the high and the minus of the low, the 50 observations. The black line, quadruple witching, is the blue line. So whenever we see that we have a quadruple witching, we usually do have a lot more volume. You know, you could see there's more volume when we have a quadruple witching day. What is the volume like on a quad witching day? When traders markets, the funds roll over their positions here. So we do have a lot more volume here. So if you guys need to, again, everyone go to your Fox Runner and then it has an FAQ. What is quadruple witching day? When does quadruple witching day occur? Is there's more volume? Quadruple witching day, is quadruple bullish or bearish? All that good stuff. So again, shout out, wanted to kind of read this a little bit more, talk about, again, quadruple witching at this time. I also wanted to talk about this right here over on Nvidia, that's over on the news alerts tab over on Fox Runner as well. It says Nvidia pullback. Here are our thoughts. So this is actually, again, very cool. This is actually very good at this moment. It says, what is the future looking like on Nvidia? So it says, let's be honest. There's no better play in the market than Nvidia. This is a stock that's up 171% on the year, 3/4 of revenue, over 200%, orders from Meta, Google, Microsoft, and Tesla, and has continuously held its gains for the past 18 months. The leader of the SPY. It seems like all eyes are on Nvidia. Whatever this play does, the rest of the market seems to follow. Artificial intelligence has been the #1 driving trend this year and shows no signs of slowing down. The S&P 500 is now up over 16% year to date, all because of what AI has done. But it says this, guys, and this is a very good point. It says, charting beware. Nvidia is currently showing a large bearish engulfing pattern on the daily chart. Bearish engulfing on the daily chart, and a bearish engulfing pattern, which is a technical chart pattern that indicates that lower prices are on the way. The pattern consists of an up candle, white or green, followed by a big down candle, black or red, that eclipses the engulfs on the smaller candle. So it says, look at the right chart in the top right hand corner. So you could see Nvidia right here on the daily chart, this very big red candle right here, showing us a bearish engulfing pattern. Standard bearish engulfing pattern here. Here at Fox Runner, we want to show you what we're currently give you ideas, not recommend. Okay, cool. So bearish engulfing pattern. This is the bearish engulfing pattern we have at this time. Spike, spike, spike. Then, of course, we have drop, drop, drop after that bearish engulfing pattern forms. If we take a look over on the daily chart right here, we do have something very similar where we do have our climb on up. We do have our top resistance. We do have our top resistance. And then that is where we could start getting our reversal. So if we want to take a look over here, we can take a look over on Nvidia, and that's that bearish engulfing pattern that right here Fox Runner's talking about. So you guys can see bearish engulfing pattern. Want to read this off, give a little shout out over to Fox Runner here today on what they putting this together. So good job, good work over on these plays. Right here, these are some of the alerts out of the news tab, and then you guys are all set to be able to get all the other information at this time. But yes, guys, if you guys haven't, I sent an email out last night to all Tradecaster members so that you guys can go get this. Every single person can sign up now to go get Fox Runner. So again, make sure you guys go take advantage of all this information, my favorite scanner, and want to make sure that you guys are all set. So make sure you guys are all ready to rock and roll. A lot of good ideas going into NVDA today, a lot of good ideas going into the S&P 500, and make sure that you guys are all set, ready to rock. Fox Runner, Big Chungus, little heads on up. I was able to help design Fox Runner. I am again part of that team, was able to help again, put together what I want out of that scanner. So absolutely, they reached out to me and said, hey, we know again, you're a popular day trader. Can you tell us exactly what you want out of these plays, exactly what you would want out of a scanner? And I was able to help be part of that team to be able to put it all together. So very proud of it, very happy about it. I'm going to be using it nonstop, and that's just because was able to help design a lot of that and just be able to kind of give exactly what a trader wants. So I am getting fired on up. I get pumped about it to be able to help out and be able to build that scanner from scratch. So absolutely awesome, absolutely great. Now, let's see what we have. Let's see what's coming on up here. Let's see again, basically start putting together some game plans. Is there any sort of big hot news today? Just let's see. Is there any sort of big hot news? Now, we know that we are not going to be able to, we know that we're not going to have any big hot news most likely on Fridays. Fridays, we're not going to see anything crazy. Fridays, we're not going to see any sort of wild news. I am leaning more towards options. But let's just see news-wise, is there anything big? AREB. AREB signs a distribution agreement with distributors to the state of Connecticut. Okay, it's up 78%. That's not anything too crazy. We do have the word agreement, but that's about it. What about KRKR? KRKR enters in a strategic partnership with another company. Are any of these low floats? We got a 4 million in float stock right here, 4 million in float, and then KRKR is 665 million in float. So let's see where AREB's at, which does have an agreement press release. Maybe that could be a low float runner today. So really, the only hot press release we're seeing on this Friday morning is AREB, which could possibly get some momentum and start taking on off. That is right here. This stock did come out with a solid press release, and now it is going on that nice rip and run. The big target over on this play, over on AREB, is to be able to get all the way up towards around $1. Once this stock again gets all the way up towards around $1, you guys will be all set, ready to, that's going to be the next target on this play, and most likely the area where we are going to be able to get a reversal. So AREB up towards around $1 resistance. That's going to be the area where we could see a reversal. That's going to be the target. But please understand, guys, on Fridays, we are not going to be able to see a lot of penny stock hype. Most likely on Fridays, we are just going to see a lot of spikes and then a lot of dumps right back on down. Nearly everything that pops, get ready for a short. I honestly am leaning a little bit more towards options today. So I am leaning a little bit more towards options today just because I don't think a lot of plays are going to hold on up. So it's either you short these penny stocks right at the start, you either wait for a stock to get halted, then short it back on down, or you're leaning towards penny stocks. Those are your options on today. You're either shorting right at the bell on SPEC and AREB, or you are waiting for some stocks to rip and run and then get ready for some shorts and then start coming crashing back on down. That's going to be the goal for you guys so that you guys are all set, ready to rock. All right. Also, just a little heads on up, team. I don't want to be talking about this all day here, but a lot of people are saying, Dek, I didn't get an email for Fox Runner. So let me just post this one time so that you guys are all set, ready to go. Okay, so let me just post this here one time. If you guys, again, did not get your news scanner, so that you guys are all set. So let me just post this, and then you guys will be all set, ready to rock and roll. Little heads on up. They are getting rid of the two-month trial next week. So again, for Tradecaster members here, if you guys again sign up now, you guys do get 2 months of access before any sort of payment whatsoever. But they changed that to 7 days starting next week. So just a little heads on up if you guys want to get involved in it. Make sure you guys take advantage of that right now. All right. So make sure that you guys are all set, ready to go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, guys, so let's focus on today. Let's focus on today now. Let's get ready to rock, and let's get ready to break this thing on down. Guys, big day ahead. So excited to see what's going to be coming on up. I know you guys are fired up as well. Whew, man, I'm good. Ready to go, ready to get after it. Here we go right here. Getting this all set on up. Getting this all good right here. Bada boom, bada bing. Ready to rock and roll. All right, awesome, awesome. Let's just see how the market opens on up. First trade that we could possibly get ourselves involved in is, remember, if we go back over towards, what was that, like a 10-minute time frame, I want to say? And then we could take a look over on this downtrend. This will be the first trade that we could get ourselves involved in, back on up towards, 545, 60 area. The market is getting a little bit weak, though, right at the start. I would probably say this, watch for a bounce play back on down towards 544. I would say watch for a bounce. Actually, let's go even slightly underneath 544. If we get a bounce play, I'm going to say, 543.90. Watch that dip buy back on up. So I'm going to say, again, watch that possible dip buy. We do have that bearish engulfing pattern over on Nvidia. So please just make sure that you guys are fully aware of that bearish engulfing pattern over on Nvidia right now. Yeah, guys, hey, my hair was getting so long. It was like I did not get a haircut since before Thanksgiving. That was the last time I had a haircut, guys. Pretty nuts. So I went to the barber yesterday. I sat on down and I said, hey, buddy, just take it all off. Take it all off. Let me start fresh for the summer. Keep it. Let's go short right here. I want to look like a young Ryan Reynolds mixed with a little bit of Hugh Jackman. That's what I told him. I sat on down. He said, say less. And now look at me. Look at me. Beautiful. Traders, S&P 500, we're getting ourselves all set, ready to go. Ready to rock. S&P 500, let's see how well this market's going to be holding on up here. Seeing if this, play is going to be able to get any sort of bounce whatsoever. Again, I like to trade, just a little heads on up, guys. As you guys know, I like to trade SPX when I'm getting involved on these plays. So I want to look for my entry. We got doing today's expiration. 5,460 most likely on a potential bounce play. We always start with around 2 contracts. Then I look for market orders and then go from there. So again, the S&P 500 deck, you could look for a bounce play right now, just a little heads on up. Why can you look for a bounce play? You do have bounce here, you do have bounce here, and you do have a little purple line bounce right here. I'm going to say, though, I think we're going to get a small crack first. I think we will get a small crack down towards around like 543.60 or so. That's where I just feel a little bit more comfortable pulling the trigger, but I'll let you guys know I will have a quick stop loss, and I'm only going small to begin with. Because if you, again, just think about this. When you have less confidence, go smaller. When you are going against the grain, go smaller. When you are saying to yourself, hey, you know what? I don't know if this is going to be the perfect play. Don't go full port on your account. Super high confidence plays, go bigger, hold longer. When you have, again, maybe right at the beginning of the bell and you're saying, okay, what is this play going to do? Go smaller, have a quicker stop loss. This all comes down to, again, discipline. This all comes down to a discipline at the moment. Making sure we're doing everything right, making sure we're doing everything correct. Right now we are just looking around. We came on down towards 544, little bit of a dip, little bit of a bounce. Traders, you want to know something a little bit crazy? Yesterday, for all traders, I did not pull the trigger until 1 o'clock. Isn't that nuts to think about? I pulled the trigger at the time of 1 o'clock, and then I made $1,000. Made $1,000. I went out, played some golf afterwards. It was a great day. But what you need to remember is you don't need to pull the trigger for just 2 minutes in. Hey, Dek, I'm 2 minutes into the market. I haven't pulled the trigger on anything yet. Sometimes we get so hyped on up, we get so excited, we make a mistake. We put ourselves in a bad position. Remember, guys, right now, you're the CEO of your company. You're the CEO of your trading account. You're the quarterback of this team. I know you're fired up in the locker room, but then when you run out to the locker room and it's the first play, and you have the ball in your hands, the last thing you want to do is just throw an interception. You don't want to be all fired on up, and the first thing you do is throw an interception. You want to make sure, again, you're getting the game going, building that momentum, being smart. Right? If you have to run it a few plays, if you have to do short little check down passes, whatever you may have to do before you open up that long ball. All right? So yesterday, I didn't trade one stock until, again, 1 o'clock. And then at 1 o'clock, I nailed the absolute bottom of the day yesterday. Was able to make over $1,000. Be patient. We're looking for, again, a $5,000 profit on this week. Deck, how will you get $5,000 profits? I need to break $1,500 today. If I make over $1,500 on the day, I make over $5,000 this week. So we are, again, staying ready, staying alert. SPEC, getting all good here. Looking for this next move and next play. If you guys do have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. Deck, I like the haircut, looking fresh. Thank you. Thank you. I flew my barber in from Madrid. That's where I get my haircuts. Same guy that cuts Leo. I call him Leo. Leonardo DiCaprio. We're on like that kind of like first nickname little basis, him and I. Good friend. So again, my guy flies in from Italy probably every 2 weeks or so. Gives me a quick little shape up. What? Oh, you go to Holiday Hair? You go to Supercuts? No, but okay. No, it's all good. It's all good. I just thought we all had a guy. It's all good. No worries. No worries, guys. Let's get you to that level. Let's get you to that next level then. My goal here, let's think about this. I want you guys getting enough money here out of today, out of this profit, out of these trades, that you guys can get a guy to cut your hair, flying over from country to country, where his scissors aren't just scissors. They're pieces of art. They're a paintbrush in that man's hand. That's what I want. Right now, we are just sitting back, Frankie, looking for, again, saying, hey, what's the best SPY position? We are, again, sitting, waiting for this wedge to break. So we're going to sit back and wait for this wedge to break. SPY waiting and watching over on this one. We got this nice little descending triangle wedge. It really just comes on down to watching this wedge setup. Watch this wedge setup. Watch this idea. SPEC, penny stock little pump. Most likely it's going to drop right back down. Guys, what do you guys realize? What have I taught you about $1? $1 is such a strong resistance line, right? It's a very tough psychological number to go from 98, 99 cents to break into $1 per share. 9 out of 10 times, if you short at $1, you'll win. 9 out of 10 times. You see a play go up to $1, you're going to get rejected and start coming back on down. When you do break $1, you can go on those very big rips and runs. You know you can go on those very big spikes. You know you can go on those very big climbs. But in most cases, when you again run up to $1, it's usually a perfect short and a perfect opportunity to be able to make money on the downside. KRKR did not get up towards $1 yet. Got up towards around 80 cents. Started turning. And again, these are a little bit smaller plays. You can see, guys, today we have a 68-cent stock, a 61-cent stock, a 48-cent stock, a 57-cent stock. Remember, penny stocks on Fridays are very lower in volatility, lower in action, lower in hype. We don't have as much momentum over on Fridays. Let's see, of course, where this hype and momentum is going to be taking us next here. SPEC, couple new highs showing up on the high of the day momentum board. Showing up over on the high of the day momentum board. No entries for myself, guys. What I'm really watching at this time is I am looking more at this wedge. Now, this wedge, we are in a 10-minute time frame, so it might take a little bit of time. But if you guys want to be as consistent as possible, I'm going to take a little screenshot of this right here at this moment, okay? So I'm going to take a little screenshot right here, and you guys, and we're just going to break this on down together. You could see rejection. You can see rejection. You can see rejection, 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 and then most likely we are going to be having rejection right around this mark. You guys can also see bottom support. You guys can see bottom support, and you guys can see bottom support. So now that we have these areas, we can start again coming up and being able to place the odds in our favor, and we can start trading with a little bit more consistency. Now let me ask you guys right now, is it a good idea to buy right here? Right here in the middle? No. It might go up, it might go down, who knows, right? As long as it's inside the channel, it's going to be a little sporadic. As long as it's inside the channel, it's going to go up, going to go down, it's going to consolidate, it's going to move left, it's going to move, we don't really know. So, but the thing is, if we just get in at the purple lines, that's going to be a lot more consistent for us. So the S&P 500, I am waiting for an entry. Either look for a reversal at the support / resistance, or, right, wait for a reversal at support and resistance, or watch for a breakout, or wait for a break / crack out of the wedge. Do not buy in the middle. As we know, it is all random right there. So we might have a little bit of waiting right now, team. We might have a little bit of waiting because we got to wait until, again, this wedge starts breaking, until this wedge starts getting a little bit of better momentum for us. But just seeing this stuff does make our life easy, doesn't it? Guys, I'm here. I'm literally here to try to make your life easier. I'm literally here to try to make, again, your trading just be pure confidence. I know when you first start trading, what did you think to yourself? Man, this is confusing. Man, this is overwhelming. Man, this is tough. Man, I don't know what's going to happen. Man, I don't. The thing is, we don't want that at all. We don't want confusion. We want confident traders. We want traders that are going to pull the trigger, get in on plays that they see, get out when, again, they should be getting out of these plays. I want to make sure every single trader is good to go. Low of the day, still at 544-ish mark. So team S&P 500 getting a little bit weaker. Deck, where could I get a bounce play? Back on down towards around that 544 area. You come back on down towards around 544 area, you can look for a dip buy with a quick stop loss. Or you wait for it to crack that area, look for a put contract. Or you sit back on your hands and you give it a little bit of time and you say, you know what, I just don't feel confident just yet. I want to wait to kind of see what comes on up. Right now, we can definitely tell the S&P 500 is consolidating a little bit. We can see the S&P 500 is a little bit weaker at this time. We can see the S&P 500 is fading. Now also, team, is anyone in over on Nvidia puts? Is anyone in over on Nvidia at this moment? Is anyone saying, hey, Deck, Nvidia, we do have that bearish engulfing candle. Right? Bearish engulfing candle we talked about over on Fox Runner. So again, NVDA, that one is getting a little bit weaker. S&P 500 traders, you guys can see, what do we have? Bounce, bounce. This would be bouncing area. Let's go ahead and take a look. SPX 5,460 call contracts. I like it. This would be the order entry that I'd be looking for if you're looking for a bottom dip buy at around the 544 over on the SPY. So if you are interested, this would be the same option contract that I would be taking if I do get in on an entry. So SPY 544 entry SPX order box. I just want to make sure you guys are good in case you guys do want to pull the trigger here. And again, I'm really on the fence right here at this moment. I do think it's going to get a little bit choppy. Do I think we're going to get a bounce back on up? Yes, I do. But at the same time, if that wedge cracks, we know it's a quadruple witching day today, don't we? We know it's a quadruple witching day. So you just have to be careful. Right now, traders, see, this is what I'm talking about. We're getting a little bit of weakness. Deck, where would you feel confident if we get probably a little pop right back above that line? So I'm just a little bit nervous on the quad witching day on going long when we do have a lot of negativity built against us. I want to switch on over real quick. What is this area? 544.22. Let's go back over to the 2-minute time frame and let's just, watch this here for a second. Deck, do you still like a possible dip buy and bounce play? I do. My biggest fear though is the quad witching day basically dropping this market as we have so much expiring at this time. I think overall the market's going to go red today. Overall, I think the market's going red today. Overall, I think the market's going to fall, but I do think there will be, again, a fair share of little dip buy opportunities. So I'm going to say if we get another double bottom, bounce back on up, that's where I'll pull the trigger. So right now, I'm still waiting. I'm still watching. I have nothing that is in on at this moment. Position box, 0 out of 0 right now. So you guys can see my position box, 0 out of 0. I have not pulled the trigger just yet. Let's make sure we do this together. Let's make sure that we're all set. And if I'm incorrect, I get out and I move on. That's it. If I'm incorrect, I get out and I move on. $544. What's the low of the day right now? $543.89. Current low of the day. Let's see if we can get a little double bottom there. Show that it's holding up as support. See if we get a little double bottom. See if we can hold up as a little bit of support. So a double bottom means we're going to bounce off the same support line. Let's see if we get a little double bottom. So there's a little bit of a crack. Nope, still going lows. All right, we're not going against this momentum, guys. I'm not going to go against the momentum. I'm not going to be the guy that's going calls on it while we're starting to get weaker. As you guys can see, let's go back over to this 10-minute time frame. 10-minute time frame, wedge is starting to crack. So again, notice what we have here. Wedge is starting to crack. As we are cracking, puts are now taking on over. I was looking for a dip buy at first, but I see that we have a lot of rejection, we have a lot of falling, we have a lot of fading, we have a lot of cracking at this moment. I don't want to go against the grain. Deck, it's quad witching day. What does that mean? Remember, as we read earlier, what is quad witching? Quad witching day. Witching refers to the simultaneous expiration of stock index futures, stock index options, stock options, and single future derivatives. So today is a quad witching day for anyone who does not know. Want to make sure that you guys are all set, ready to rock here. So I'll take a screenshot of this in case anyone does not know or realize, so that you guys are all set, ready to get after it. So this is, again, a reason why this market can fall and turn. Markets are falling with the quad witching day. So right now, again, puts are taking on over at this moment because of this, cracking that wedge pattern. No entries for myself just yet. And remember, what I do like, what I always gain a little confidence in, is when we see the wedge, where we see the triangle, where we see the idea, and we say, hey, okay, we're dumping right now because number one, we got the quad witch, and then on top of that, we're also seeing that again, seeing that that wedge is getting very weak now. So that wedge has fully cracked. That wedge has fully dumped. That wedge right now, team, is starting to really just fall apart, and that's why we're getting that hard sell-off. So wedge right here, traders, leading towards that dump. No entries for myself here just yet. Deck, where would you get filled on this play? If we ever got, the only way I'm going long at this moment, the only way I am buying at this moment is if we get back inside the wedge. Back inside the wedge shows strength. Back inside the wedge shows that we're moving on up. And, back inside the wedge shows that we're starting to get a little bit of a climb right here. I know Zach right here is over on puts. I know I saw Taylor Trader over on puts. I think Silverback is over on puts. So a lot of traders, again, looking for that put side. The only way I'm going long is if we get back inside the wedge, showing that it has strength and, moving itself on up. How's Nvidia doing? Nvidia still getting a little bit weaker, guys. What I will say is Nvidia at this time does have that 13 EMA potential bounce play. So 13 EMA is down towards around that 124.90 mark. 124.90 is the potential bounce area over on NVDA. So a little heads on up for you guys over there. Also, I'll take a screenshot of this, what we had for Nvidia. So again, Nvidia charting beware, Nvidia showing a large bearish engulfing pattern. So you guys could see bearish engulfing pattern over on NVDA right here. So again, just a little heads on up. NVDA does have a bearish engulfing pattern, which is right there. And as we talked about, a bearish engulfing pattern is showing where we're going to get that reversal, where we're going to be getting that drop, where we're going to start fading and falling. Right now, team, we do have the S&P 500 still trying to build itself on up. The only reason I'm in on a 10-minute time frame right now is because I want to watch that wedge. Waiting for our first play, guys. Waiting for our first entry. If you guys got in on the put side so far, you guys have done absolutely incredible at this moment. So right now, team, we are still waiting, seeing if we're going to get back on up and start pushing a little bit more. If we start getting back above, again, 544, that's a great start. Looks like, again, big, long, lower shadow. Big, long, lower shadow. Definitely can indicate, again, bounces. What was the low today? 543 on the dot so far, 543.02. Staying patient. How many people have jumped in on a play so far? How many people have gone on puts on that little drop? Or how many people are on calls right now at this moment trying to build itself back on up? I just want to wait for, again, that clear, confident move. I know you guys are eager. I know people want to trade. I know you guys are saying to yourself, oh, Dek, it's time for me to pull the trigger. I got to get involved right here, right now. I'm going to wait because I know that a lot of people follow what I do. I understand that, guys. I don't want you guys to, but I understand a lot of people do that. So when I pull the trigger, I want to make sure not only am I going to win, but I'm thinking about every other person. I want to, and that's why I love live streaming as well. Sometimes if I was not live streaming and I was not, again, basically feeling responsible for a lot of other traders as well, I might get a little bit more gambly. Now, the reason I win so often is because I try to pull the trigger when I see high confidence plays, where I know I'm going to come out on top, or at least I have the odds in my favor. So the thing is, you guys make me a better trader. And me being a better trader hopefully makes you guys a lot more money. So right here, team, we are again waiting, watching, looking for this move and looking for what's coming on up here next. Right now, team, we are again staying smart, looking for this possible next leg here. SPY, want to see, can we get back above that 544 mark? Or are we going to get a double bottom back down towards 543? Hey, guys, we got all the time in the world. Obviously, target today is $1,500. That's our target today. $1,500 in profit. Got a long way to go. No entry yet. Long way to go, no entry yet. Dek, if we do start turning and falling, how low can we go on down to today? 13 EMAs all the way back on down towards around 540. So we got a lot of room to fall. We got a lot of weakness. We got a lot of opportunity to just keep on dropping and keep on fading. So just a little heads up for you guys. Right now, puts are fully in control. Well, Dek, when will puts not be in control? Probably back above 544. Back above 544, I give it to bulls. Anything underneath 544, I give it to bears. Very easy way to think about it. You're underneath the price of 544, bears are in control, puts are in control, shorters are in control. If you're above the price of 544, buyers are now back, bulls are now back. We could see call traders, call contracts start taking on over. So very easy way to think about it. Take a look at the SPY. Anything underneath 544, bearishness. Anything above 544, bullishness. So we are, again, just watching these moves and looking to see what's happening. Got a little bit of a pullback. Anyone want to look for that possible double bottom at 543? So we would have to change our entry, though, to 550. Excuse me. 5,450. If we're looking for that possible double bottom. Now, Dek, let's look at a past chart history pattern, though. Let's not just, look for a random double bottom. Let's look at the past chart history pattern. Where does it make sense? Where does it make sense that we would actually get a dip buy? So, I want to go back time frame 30. Let's go a time frame 30-minute time frame here. Where is the best area of support? I see massive support all the way back on down towards around the price of 540. Dek, why do you see massive support at the price of 540? Well, because number one, you guys can see bounce play here. You guys can see bounce play here. That's a little far away, though. Let's look at something a little bit more relevant. What about like this area? 542. I want to go a little bit higher. Like this area. What is this? I'm trying to look at where are there a lot of old tops that make sense that we haven't crossed. Because the thing is, like, I can't go all the way up here. The stock is lower than that. I can't go right here. Right here is a pretty good entry. I'm going to say if there is going to be a dip buy, it's going to be a little bit lower. 542.60, 542.50. I think that's a little bit of a better opportunity for a dip buy mark. Down towards, again, 542s. Low 542s is kind of like the next opportunity for, I think, a nice dip buy if it does keep on falling. Or the S&P 500 is all the way down towards 5, or the 13 EMA is all the way down to 540. So, I mean, right now, traders, it is definitely leaning more bearish. The only way this play goes bullish is back above 544. Back above 544, yes, we can start moving our way back on up. Yes, we can start ripping. Yes, we can start spiking. Anything underneath 544 is still extremely bearish in my eyes. So that's basically your make or break right now, team. So we're still giving this a little bit of time. Wait and watch. And give me 2 seconds, guys. Going to step off the mic here just for a moment. All right, guys, we are staying alert here. Still, same exact game plan. Same exact game plans, waiting for that good opportunity for us to be able to make that money. No reason to force. 544, strong resistance. If we get back above 544, we could easily run. If we don't, we could go all the way on down towards around 542. Right now, traders, I do feel like it's a little bit of a gamble. I just feel like I'm randomly guessing a little bit. Little Sino AREB. Trying to move itself on up towards around that $1 mark. If you guys are interested in a penny stock play, AREB, any shares available to short? Let's go ahead and check this one on out. ARB does have shares available to short. This stock went from 30 cents and spiked all the way up to 85 cents. Pretty nuts to be seeing. 30 cents all the way up towards around 85 cents. That's a pretty big play. AREB right now is up 172%. This is a play that a lot of traders are probably going to be looking at. Let's just put AREB up on the top level 2 here for a moment. Top level 2 over on AREB. Any sort of news behind this play? I just kind of want to double check here for a second. If I wanted to see, AREB 56 minutes ago did come out with a press release. AREB came on out. Let's see news right here. Yes, so right here it says AREB signs distribution agreement. And this came out at 9 o'clock. So this came out at 9 a.m. Came out with a distribution agreement over on AREB. And this has the reason why the stock is getting its move at this time. So it does have credibility on why the stock is moving. There is a credible reason. 85 cents is strong resistance at this moment. If it breaks through 85 cents, well then guess what? It's going to keep on moving. It's going to keep on spiking. It's going to keep getting that hype. If this play, again, cannot break through 85 cents, this is most likely going to be that pullback mark. It looks like it's going to snap 85 cents and try to move on up towards around $1. Let's just see, when was the last time AREB was up near $1? AREB has a lot of potential right now. What's this old top high? 93 cents or so? So this area right here is right around 93 cents. That's going to be a strong resistance line. I'm actually, going to, if we start breaking, I'm going to say 90 cents. I'm going to get ready for some possible shorts over on AREB. AREB is an active play. Anything above 90 cents, I might get ready for some possible shorts over on this one. We got up to 89 cents so far. Can this play snap that 90 cent mark, run on up towards 93, 94 cents? We hammer down like 20,000 shares and see if this one can get a reversal back on down 3, 4, 5, 10 cents. So I want to see if AREB could possibly spike on up, go up towards around 94, 95 cents, and then we get a reversal back on down. It has a lot of momentum towards the upside right here. I would like to see maybe a little bit of an upper shadow and then see that thing start fading and falling. So AREB still trying to get a little bit of momentum. Got up towards 89 cents so far. I still think that could get up towards around 93, 95 cents. We also have the S&P 500 coming on up towards around 544 resistance. We know that's going to have some trouble. 544 breaks through 544. We start moving on up. Crack underneath 544 is where things start dropping on down. Still haven't had super high confidence on any play just yet, but AREB up near around 95, 95 cent region is definitely where I want to pull the trigger and get myself involved on the first trade. If it breaks $1, well, obviously, again, you got to get out of this play. So we got to see if this play is going to keep on going, keep on ripping, keep on running up towards around that 95 cent mark. All I'm looking for is, again, past chart history pattern. Where was the last big spiking high? Where would this thing have trouble? So I'm just kind of figuring out, where is this play going to have some trouble? Now I'm thinking, if it can get one more leg on up, it's going to be right around $1. It's going to be right around 95 cents. If it can get one more leg on up. Got up towards 89 cents as the high so far. Trying to just fight and stay alive here. There are shares available to short. If I wanted to get 20,000 shares, it's going to cost me $140, which really isn't like too bad when you actually think about it. AREB, let's see. This one can get a little bit of a spike on up. Spike on up. Start getting that momentum up towards that 94 cent mark. And then basically just, go from there. So I'm going to put in some orders. Put in some orders. What do we got up to? 89 cents so far. It looks like it's starting to turn a little bit at this time. I'm just going to leave some orders up towards around I'm going to do like 10,000 shares and just leave some orders up towards around 93, 94 cents. I'm just going to do some orders, put it up towards, again, 93, 94 cents. You guys can see these are some pending orders up here in case we ever get a pop. In case we ever get a little pop, just throw it up there. 10,000 shares. And if it gets filled, great. If it doesn't get filled, no big deal. $1, very strong resistance. Probably do, again, half my position around 94, 95 cents. Do the other half position up towards around $1. Let's see what else we have. S&P 500, where are we at over here? S&P 500 traders, taking a look back over on the SPY at this time. SPY back above 544 at this time. Again, very big spike, a little bit of an upper shadow though forming. This is where we are going to have some trouble. S&P 500, notice how big upper shadows can be, or lower shadows. When you have a lower shadow, it usually indicates you're going to be moving on up. Lower shadow indicates you're going to be moving on up. Upper shadow right here, traders, guess what's happening? We have an upper shadow. It does indicate that we could be turning back on down. So again, our upper and lower shadows definitely are going to give us, different ideas. SPY right now, traders, still right around that 544 mark. What's the next move here? What's the next move over on the SPY? 544, still trying to hold, still staying alive, still breaking at this moment. We also, of course, watching our AREB trade. AREB starting to fade a little bit, back on down towards 80 cents. We want to see if that's going to get up towards around $1. S&P 500 still sitting right around 544. Man, we just want that clear-cut, easy trade. But so far, what have we seen? So, let's just be honest. We've seen drop, spike, nice big drop, spike, nice drop, spike. It's like drop, spike, spike, drop, drop, spike, drop. You know, I want consistency, guys. I want something that's clear cut. I want something that's easy. I'll tell you this right now. I'm going to be honest. I might hurt some feelings here. I cannot predict the future. I do not know what the SPY will do in 10 seconds from now. But what I can do is wait for opportunities where I know a reversal is going to come, or I know it has room to run, or I know it's going to hold support. Right here over on the SPY, if you want to trade it, it comes down to the simple fact, above 544, be on calls. Underneath 544, be on puts. That's the easiest way to trade this at this moment. That's the easiest way to trade this at this time. Above 544, be on calls. Underneath 544, be on puts. That's how you can see support and resistance. That's how you can kind of go with, you know, whoever has momentum. MINM, I like the uptrend. Slow and steady uptrend over on MINM. Slow and steady uptrend over on MINM at this time. You guys see bounce play, bounce play, bounce play. Trying to get that little bounce and that move on up. But we're going to get it, guys. We're not going anywhere. We're here to make money. We're here to attack. We're here to make that cash. Looking for this next move here, traders. Looking for that next pop. Guys, SPY already getting a little bit weaker. Hey, I'll tell you something right now. Nobody has ever blown up their account by being patient. No one has ever blown up their account by waiting and having discipline. No one has ever blown up their account by saying, you know what, I want to wait for the best play possible. No one's ever blown up their account that way. People blow up their accounts by overtrading. People blow up their accounts by gambling. People blow up their accounts by not having stop losses. People blow up their accounts by not having game plans. People blow up their accounts because they can't control their emotion. People blow up their accounts because they don't have discipline. Right? We have discipline. We're controlling our emotions. We're waiting for a better game plan. We're waiting for opportunities. We're waiting for something to set itself up that the odds are going to be in our favor. That's what we're looking for here, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just, again, keep on staying smart. Keep waiting for this. SRPT deck just hit some new highs. SRPT. Slow and steady right here, 160 up towards, again, 170. I think SRPT it had a press release, like got acquired or something. It is moving on up. You're not wrong. But it's really more just inside this channel. So if you're interested over on SRPT, this is what I would tell you. Ride it on up towards around 175. Calls up to 175. Do a reversal at 175 for put contracts. How long do the put contracts go? Go all the way back on down towards 160. Take a look at what we've seen here. Top, drop, top, drop, drop, going its way back on up to the top. SPY team, it's kind of at like a little breaking point. Is the S&P 500 going to start squeezing its way on up here soon? Be ready. S&P 500, it looks like it wants to start getting that potential squeeze here in the near future. So it looks like the S&P 500 is going to try to get a little bit of a squeeze here. SPX in the near future. If it can get above that 543 mark. Again, I just want to have orders ready. Call contracts. 5,460. Call contracts. Market order. 2 contracts. Being all set. So it'd be SPX, June 21st, 5,460 call contracts, 2 contracts, getting ready to get involved on this trade. It is holding at this moment 544. We have to see if it's going to continue to hold 544. It just looks like to me it's getting ready for that pop and run back up towards around 545. Remember, as long as it holds 544, we are still good to go. If it goes underneath 544, that's where weakness is. Underneath 544 is where things are going to be troubling. Underneath 544 is where it goes to the bearish side. I'm just getting ready in case I do get an order here very soon. We've had, again, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. Let's see if it falls and gets back above 544. We can go from there. But it is still trying. It's still setting itself on up. It is still consolidating at the area that we talked about. Above is bullish and underneath is bearish. SPY, getting ready for potential calls on SPX. 2 contracts for a spike back near 545. So right now, team, we are looking to see how well. Guys, it looks like it's going to go here soon. If it looks like it's either going to pop here momentarily or, again, get that dump back on down. Just be ready for that. If you guys are involved right now, it looks like it wants to get ready for that new pop on up towards, you know, that next leg, for that next spike, for that next rip. Are we going to get it? If we come back on down towards around 544.10, I think I'm going to give it a chance. Give it a chance on my first entry. Underneath 544, though, got to be willing to get out. Got to be willing to move on. I want to see if we get a little pullback, build a small little higher low, move ourselves on up. And again, 2 contracts really isn't that big. Let's see if, again, hold on. Let's see if we can hold here. See if we can hold and start moving its way back on up. I just don't want to get in and all of a sudden we go right underneath 544. Like, I'm eager to trade, guys. I'm very eager to trade. I'm very eager to get involved. I am very eager here. But I want to make sure I don't jump in and just dumps on us. Nope, see, it's right back on down to 544. Nope, so again, no entry just yet. We got to stay patient. We got to stay disciplined. Starting to get a little bit of this hype back on up. Slowly trying to build a little bit more. Another red candle right here, traders. Trying to move itself on up here, maybe getting ready. We know 544 has definitely been support. 544 has been bounce play. 544 has been crack. 544 has been resistance, 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 resistance. 544 then dumped on down. Then we moved back up to 544. We broke 544, dumped back on down. Then we bounced off 544. It's basically been 544 is the happy medium area. 544 is where traders are going to say to yourself, all right, hey, it's like gravity. If you're underneath it, you get pulled back up to it. If you're above it, you get pulled back down towards it. 544 has just been the area that traders have been watching and focusing on. It's just been that 544 mark. Traders, I'm still getting ready for 2 contracts here. You know, seeing if this thing is going to be able to get that pop and rip and run and get myself up a few dollars. So just stay ready. I have an order all set ready to go. But underneath 544 is the weakness. My biggest fear is I get filled all of a sudden right away. We're underneath 544 and I got to get out right away. I'm not going to hold. I'm not going to hope. I'm not going to average down. It's as simple as that today. You're above 544, go green. Underneath 544, you're red. Starting to build on up here a little bit more. Kind of want to wait for a little bit more of that pop. Give me a little bit more confidence. I like how we are building some higher lows here. Little bit of higher lows, little bit of a nicer setup. You can see again, bounce, bounce, bounce. Getting more of a little higher low opportunity here. So it's like kind of pointing upwards, as you guys can see. AREB's had a nice reversal back on down. Yeah, it's on the VWAP indicator. VWAP does give us a nice idea of where we could be at, what we could be doing. Yeah, VWAP still trying to hold on up, though, a little bit. Man, guys, what do you guys think right now so far? I'm gonna take a little bit of a look away from the SPY. What do you guys think so far? Do you guys like the game plan? Do you guys feel like maybe we're forcing a little bit? Does anyone feel like maybe we're forcing? Does anyone feel like we want to trade? Maybe we shouldn't just yet. Does anyone feel like, I don't know, like maybe go very small, but this is, you know, this doesn't seem like it's that super high, you know, reward trade just yet. I mean, let's think about best case scenario. Best case scenario is we jump in and it spikes on up towards, you know, 544.50. But it's like worst case scenario is we fall on down to 544, we go underneath 544, which seems like it's more likely. It's like, you know, I want to do the right thing. I want to make you guys money. But I keep going back in my head. I'm like, okay, well, if these people, again, follow what I'm doing and we just go right back down to 544, it's just not a good trade. So it's like, I like the ideas, but it's still, I feel like, still needs a little bit of time here. So again, hey, I'm happy that we're all on the same page, though. I'm happy we're all on the same page. I'm happy we have the right ideas. I'm happy, again, we're all thinking about the same thoughts. SPY right now still has this little move on up. I'm going to switch over to a put contract. Not saying I'm in on anything. I'm just kind of bouncing back and forth. Looking to see what is going to be that little better opportunity for us. Like if all of a sudden the SPY starts dumping back underneath the VWAP, here comes that little squeeze that we wanted. There's that little squeeze here. There's that little 544.50 squeeze. So there's that little 544.50 squeeze that we liked. Again, building up my confidence, saying, all right, Dek, nope, you're correct. You saw higher lows. You got back above 544. Bulls are back in control. So you are 100% correct. Bulls are in control. Higher lows above the VWAP, above 544. Sometimes, again, I take this as a mental victory. Not a profitable victory, a mental victory. All right, Dek, you're reading the chart right. You have the right understanding. You got the right outlook right here. Even though, again, you didn't pull the trigger there, you're still, again, figuring out what this market's going to do. You got to be picky and choosy in the stock market sometimes, guys. Still, of course, watching that S&P 500 move. So SPY still moving on up. Let's kind of move some things out of the way. 1014 so far. AREB anything. Right now, the stock is only holding the VWAP, cracking under the VWAP. Your next target would be 60 cents. Next target is 60 cents over on the VWAP here, traders. A little heads on up for you guys. SPEC getting a little bit weaker right now. SPEC getting weaker, and then really there's not many other penny stocks. It really is just AREB, which had got on that quick little rip and run. MINM, I will say, is still holding the uptrend. MINM is still holding its uptrend. That is still giving it a shot right here. So that play is still trying to just work itself and slowly grind its way on up. Right now, 1014 in the market. Hey, we'll take a little mental victory. Nothing wrong with a little mental victory, guys. Nothing wrong with a little mental victory. All right? It's like, oh, Dek, cool. I love mental victories. Yeah, I feel great. That's not going to pay my bills, Dek. All right. You know what? Obviously, you guys can pull the trigger when you guys see it, but there's that S&P 500 move. Here comes that S&P 500 little pop here. Here comes, again, a little bit more momentum towards the upside. How's Nvidia doing here today? Nvidia at this moment, team, trying to get a little bit of a bounce back above that VWAP as well. So Nvidia trying to get a little bit of that bounce back above that VWAP as well. Dek, is there any area on the S&P 500 things can start turning? Let's just figure this out. Where on the S&P 500 have things turned and got trouble? 545.30-ish. You could see pre-market high, pre-market high, pre-market high. 545.20. That was the low of the day yesterday. 545.18. So let's just put this as the next kind of potential line of a reversal. 545.18 bounce play yesterday. If you guys go up to 545.18, I'm going to look for a quick reversal. I will do that one. Previous day yesterday, quick reversal opportunity. So that's going to be 5,475 put contract, 2 contracts, market order, go from there. This is like the first trade that I actually feel like I feel pretty good about, feel pretty confident on. just because we're looking for a reversal at the low of the day yesterday. So I think we could get a quick scalp. This will be a quick scalp play. So this is going to be SPY. Watch for a spike to yesterday's low of the day of 545.18. There is where you want to pull the trigger for a put scalp. Nail the red candle and lock it up. So if we can get that. All right, so if we can get that, little bit of a pop on up and then get that reversal back on down on a quick little red candle. I'm not saying it's going to dump, but it should give us a red candle. So we do have Nvidia still trying to push on up here a little bit, which is nice. S&P 500 still trying to get a little bit of action. Again, all I've been trying to do is find that one good confident play. So far at this time, we have seen the S&P 500 get a little bit of a move back on up, which we slightly called. I don't want to really take a lot of credit for that because it's not like I was even in on the play. So I don't want to be bragging on things that like we're not even in. Waiting for a little bit of that better opportunity. Still SPX put contracts at this red line. Put contract at that red line is what I'm going to be doing for a quick in, quick out. Like when I mean quick, guys, it's going to be quick. So I'm being straight up with everyone. I'm letting you know that my trade today will probably be 30 to 45 seconds. Yes, guys, probably 30 to 45 seconds long on my trade today. And that's because I'm going to get filled at the red line. That is the previous low of the day at 545.18. And that's where I think a great dip buy opportunity is going to be at. So at the previous low of the day is where I think we're going to hit resistance and come right back on down. Previous low, bounce play, move ourselves. That bounce right there is going to be where I think you're going to hit right here and get that reversal. If we go back underneath 544, then yes, traders, we are back on the bearish category, back on the bearish sector so far. Right now, not too much over on the SPY, and obviously not too much over in the penny stock world. We do still have AREB still fighting. AREB is still fighting, still trying to move itself on up. Come on now. AREB still looking at this one. If that one could ever get up towards around 95, 96 cents, that could be a great shorting opportunity. 95, 96 cent area. Still, if it ever started ripping and running, just be prepared on that one. Definitely looks like AREB is trying to get a little bit of steam behind it. Guys, AREB still a potential mover for us. 94 cents. Going to be, again, that next kind of strong resistance line as we talked about. Go 94 cents and then go up towards around probably like 97 cents. So 94 cents, then all the way up towards around 97 cents if AREB ever gets that pop on up. So we will be watching that one still as well. And again, AREB, this is one that we're looking at past chart history pattern. Go on over, take a look at the past chart history. We're basically saying to ourselves, where was there resistance in the past? And just by looking right here, I see there was an old spiking high at 94 cents. Old spiking high at 94 cents. You guys can see there's a lot of upper candles right here at 94, 95 cents. Here's a couple upper shadows at around 97, 98 cents. So it's kind of between 94 all the way up towards around $1. 94 to $1, that 6 cent stretch is most likely going to be your reversal area. That's another trade that I have pretty good confidence in. So, I mean, right now it seems like, one trade is going to do it for us. It seems like right now at this moment, whatever trade we find, that one trade is probably going to do it for us on that money-making opportunity. All right, team, come on. Wake up, everyone. Wake up! Let's get ready to go. I want free weekend Friday. That means, again, we have our entire weekend paid for. I'm talking about the dinner. I'm talking about the drinks. I'm talking about the gas. I'm talking about you taking the kids out to Disneyland. I'm talking about the groceries. I'm talking about the bill. I'm talking about the maid. I'm talking about the personal chef. Everyone's paid for it. Free weekend Friday. Let's get ourselves all dialed in here. We'll get a move, and we're going to nail the move. We're waiting for the move. We're waiting for that opportunity. We're waiting for the best trade. We're waiting for the chance for us to be able to stand up and make a name for ourselves right here. We're waiting for it. And it'll come. It'll come, guys. It'll come. Guys, SPY right now getting a little bit weaker. Let's make sure that we're still just all set and dialed in over on the S&P 500. We know, of course, on the SPY, underneath the VWAP, things get weaker. Underneath 544, things get weaker. AREB, not until that one breaks, 90 cents are we really too interested on it. I get this question a lot. People always say, Decky, my broker doesn't allow shares to short. Remember, team, if you guys do not have the same broker that I have, you guys will not be able to have shares available to short. So make sure you guys are using my broker, which is Lightspeed, so that you guys are all set, ready to go. And you guys will have shares available to short on AREB or any other penny stock that we come across. AREB is starting to turn back on down right now. AREB getting a little bit more rejected. Right back on down. If you guys are in on shorts at this moment, I think it's a good move. Stock could easily fall back on down towards around 70 cents. Crack of that VWAP, you guys basically have a whole lot of room to fall. So again, AREB, crack of the VWAP, you guys have a lot of room to be able to get weaker. Chase Deck, I'm signing up for the lifetime membership over here on tradecaster.com this evening. Woo! Fired on up. And again, guys, if you guys are ever interested in the lifetime membership, yeah, as always, send me an email. We'll try to work out some sort of discount for you guys, help you guys on out in any way we can. We always want to support you guys in every single way possible. If that's you guys, of course, trying to save money by, of course, becoming a lifetime member. So absolutely. Chase, fired on up. You deserve it, buddy. Guys, SPY starting to get a little reversal right back on down. Take a look over on the S&P 500. S&P 500 traders on this little uptrend at this moment. S&P 500 trying to get a small little dip buy and bounce play. Is the S&P 500 going to start turning? Can the S&P 500 start getting weaker? Can the S&P 500 start going back underneath that 544 mark? So S&P 500, put that thing back on up. That's starting to get weaker. Underneath 544, things can start getting a little bit ugly. 2 contracts, market order, June 21st, 5,465 would be our entries. Crack of this uptrend here, things could start fading on off. Things could start falling. We've stayed very patient. Excuse me, team. We are looking for that next move, that next opportunity for us. We're just trying to stay as dialed as we possibly can. Just trying to stay absolutely dialed here. Guys, S&P 500, we can clearly see our uptrend that we're trying to hold. Clearly see the uptrend that we're trying to hold. I like how this uptrend is building. I like how we can clearly see where our dip buys are. So you guys can look for dip buys, and you guys can look for reversals at these marks. Deck, why do you trade SPX instead of SPY? SPX pays you more money. So if I traded SPY, I make $100. SPX is going to pay me about $700. If I traded SPY and I lost 200, SPY I'm probably losing 1,000. Or SPX. The thing is, it's more money, more volatility, more craziness. So I like trading SPX because I can make more money in a shorter amount of time. But the trade-off is you could also lose more money in a shorter amount of time. But you can make more money. Right now, team. Still watching the SPY. I could imagine once this does crack, I could imagine the SPY actually getting a big reversal, like a big red candle. I could imagine once the SPY again, if it does crack, I could imagine a very large red candle coming here. 10:30 in the market. We want to see if we're going to be able to nail this thing. Are we going to? 5,465 market order, 2 contracts. Traders, we want to be close and ready on this in case we start falling back on down towards getting that 544 mark. Guys, little side note, AREB is also moving itself on up. AREB, I kind of want to focus a little bit more on the S&P 500 right now, guys. I kind of want to focus a little bit more on the S&P 500 to see if this thing is going to get weaker. Traders, I am going to give this a chance and see if SPX is going to be able to pay me on out here in a second. June 21st. I want to see this. I want to see if this is going to get that dump here. SPX, June 21st. 5,465 put contracts. And see if this thing is going to get that dump. I want to do... I think I have an entry here. Or, excuse me. With no... I'm waiting for this here. I want to see if this thing is going to turn. I want to see if this thing is going to turn. I want to see if this thing's going to fall. Little sign note, guys. AREB just spiked on up towards 93 cents. I had a limit order at 94 cents. I had a limit order at 94 cents that did not get filled. S&P 500 trying to stay alive here. S&P 500 trying to stay alive. I'm actually going to, give me 1 second. I'm going to refresh my light speed. I think I'm having a quick little issue with it, so I'm just going to refresh it real quick. Because I might be getting involved on my first trade here. I'm the beekeeper. I'm the beekeeper. Anyone see that movie with Jason Statham? Where he's a beekeeper? I watched that movie last night. I'm the beekeeper. Who are you? Who are you? Why are you doing this? I'm the beekeeper. I'm the beekeeper. SPX. Watching, guys. SPX. I'm getting ready for this possible drop. It looks like it's happening here pretty soon. 526. 523. 27. It's still, again, just holding. For some reason, guys, little heads on up. I'm having an issue with my... I'm trying to get in on 2 contracts right now. I'm trying to get in on 2 contracts. For some reason or another, it's not allowing me. I'm trying to get in on 2 contracts for this dump. I'm going buy, yes, and it's saying rejected. Why am I being rejected here? I am not sure. I'm trying to get in on put contracts right now. I'm literally trying. It's saying again, rejected on your market order. SPX, June 2nd. June 21st here, excuse me. 5,460. Oh, SPXW, they make me always go on. SPXW, they always make me go on. That's a little annoying. Guys, this is where, again, I think it puts. And, you know, I was trying to get in for this dump here. I was literally just trying to get in for that dump. I was literally just trying to get in for that red candle. So it's like, I'm trying to give everyone the heads on up. I'm trying to get in over on this play. That's a nice red candle, a nice little sell-off so far. If you guys are in right now on puts, just stay underneath the VWAP now. 544.10 is the VWAP area. 544.10 is the VWAP area. Stay underneath the VWAP. So let's see if we can stay underneath the VWAP. And remember, take profits when you have them. Probably the best thing and the most important thing that you guys can do is take profits when you guys have them. You know, if you guys just had that big red candle right there, doink, it did just bounce back on up. Today's a day. Once I'm green, I'm getting out. Green, getting out. Green, getting out. Green, getting out. I am not going to be holding very long on any trade. Just a heads up for you guys. So we are again coming back on down. VWAP, bounce, 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 bounce. Been trying to get a lot of bounces right off this area. I tried to get filled at 545.20 or 544.20 for that drop. I just missed that drop. I had to refresh all my light speed. It was on STD instead of SPXW, and no one wants STDs. So you got to be on SPXW. Right now, traders back underneath the VWAP. Back underneath the VWAP at this time. We have to stay underneath the VWAP, stay underneath 544. Stay underneath 544, stay underneath the VWAP. Let's get one more red candle, confirmation candle underneath the VWAP. That's what I want to see. Confirmation candle underneath the VWAP. I'm trying to do, again, you guys can see my order. I'm trying to do puts. I tried to do a put contract there for the sell-off. So right now, traders, we are good. Puts, 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 puts. Puts, puts. Right now, we still, again, we want to stay underneath the VWAP, confirmation candle underneath this line, making sure that we're all set, looking for the sell-off in this dump. As long as we stay underneath 544.10, we're okay. If you stay underneath 544, you're doing great. So underneath 544.10, I like it. Underneath 544, I love it. So I'm going to give it a few more candles, but I'm going to be jumping in on puts here momentarily. AREB, guys, had the quick little pop on up towards around 92, 93 cents, and now starting to reverse its way back on down. S&P 500 still getting a little bit weaker. We are having that confirmation candle underneath this area. Watch for small little pops here and there. Small little pops here and there, but I think we are going to start reversing. Guys, it looks like, again, the S&P 500, SPX, starting to get a little bit weaker at this time. I'm just going to do, again, like 2 contracts at a time. Keep it very tight because, again, we're still just sitting right at the 544 mark. Yeah, we want to see the dump. We want to see the sell-off, but we are still sitting right at that 544 mark. If you guys are on puts right now, you guys are doing well. Can we get that reversal? Come on. If you guys are in on the put side right now, I love it for you guys. I love it for you guys. I want to see a big sell-off. So if you guys are in on the put side right now, I love it. Again, as long as you stay underneath 544.10, you're good to go. That's kind of like your area. All right, so we want to see the dump underneath 543.85, and that's where you should crash back on down towards around like 543.50. You're underneath 544, you're underneath 544.10. Those are kind of the 2 big areas for us. We might test 544.10 one more time. We might test the VWAP and then get that rejection. But right now, puts are looking the right way. Still, my position box is still zeroed out right here. Also, reminder, team, take profits when you have it today. Take profits when you have it today. Reminder, make sure you guys are being smart. Reminder, make sure every single trader is aware, of course, that this market is very choppy around 544. If you're in the green, take your gains. Aussie Chick, resend your email, and so it just goes right to the top of my email list, okay? So again, just resend your email so it goes right to the top of my email list, and you guys will be all set. Traders, when I pull the trigger today, I want to win. It seems like I'm only going to be able to pull the trigger once, maybe 2 times today. And then, you know, when I do, I want to make sure it's a winner. I want to make sure I'm coming out on top. SPY still again on the upside. SPY still on the upside. AREB right here also still trying to slowly grind. So we are all good to go. All set, all good to rock at this time. Staying alert, staying smart, guys. Everyone, again, no forcing. If you guys do have any questions, right now is a great time to ask. Any questions, comments, or concerns is an absolutely perfect time to ask. We're sitting back. We're staying smart. I'm not going anywhere. I'm, again, getting my Friday money. You guys know it. Let's get our Friday money here. SPY still getting a little bit weaker here. SPY guys with that big upper shadow at this moment. Come on now. Got our upper shadow. Still looking for this next move. Deck, do most people use Lightspeed Trader or Sterling? It's all preference. I use Lightspeed Trader. So I use Lightspeed Trader. Some people use, again, the Sterling. It's all your preference. It's not going to change anything. Doe Capital says, Deck, the SPY is whiplashing me around. You know, going up, going down, going up, going down. Basically, again, your neck's going like this. Up and down, left and right. You know, that's the issue right now. You know, it's getting a little bit of whiplash. Traders, we did just spike back above the VWAP, going back on down. I'm going to give this a chance here very soon. So just be ready, giving it a chance here, because this is what we have. We're bearish underneath the uptrend. Okay, so let's just think about this here for a moment. At this exact time, we are bearish underneath the VWAP, or not the VWAP, excuse me. We are bearish on the S&P 500 underneath the uptrend. We are bearish underneath the VWAP, and we are trying to get underneath 544. The S&P 500 is on the brink of a collapse, a brink of a huge red candle, and we're trying to nail that absolute huge red candle. But it's all because we need to get filled on where the bearishness is truly going to take over. We had this uptrend. Now it's on the opposite side. We have the VWAP. Now it's on the downside. We have 544 support looking to crack at this moment. If we can just get one or two candles underneath 544 and actually stay underneath 544, we could be seeing a sell-off here very soon. I think a sell-off could easily happen here, and I'm all set, ready to rock and roll. Bearish on the uptrend, bearish on the VWAP, bearish underneath 544. I'm pulling the trigger, probably 4 to 6 contracts, and looking to make some money. Probably going to be about a $6,000 to $7,000 investment, looking to make about a $1,000 return on this day. Let's get all set, ready to go. So the S&P 500, still watching this, a couple little tests. Can we be able to get that reversal on down? We are so close here, team. SPX, watching for those puts and that reversal. Got a little bit of a move here. We have the VWAP at what price? 544.10 still. 544.10 here still. Can we hit that and get rejected off of it? Came on up towards around 544, still hitting these areas, strong resistance. Right at 544.10, we need to go underneath 544. Traders are getting a little choppy right now, right around 544. I do see little lower highs though, which is a good sign. Slight lower highs, good sign that we could be turning here very, very soon. I think puts are in control as long as we're underneath the VWAP. As long as we are underneath that VWAP, puts are in control. As long as we're underneath the VWAP, puts are in control. Once we're underneath 544, that's where you feel confident. Right now, if you're in on this play at 544.05, 545.06, 544.10, you're just saying to yourself, stay underneath 544. Stay underneath 544 and you guys are doing great. Right now, we are starting to get a little bit of that turn, a little bit of that drop. Looking for that sell-off on down and that weakness. A little bit of a pop back on up here still. Right back on up towards the VWAP area. Right back up towards the VWAP area. We just touched the VWAP one more time. We just touched the VWAP again at 544.10. Still a little bit of that choppiness. A little bit of that choppiness here, traders. We want to see this underneath 544. Another little touch of the VWAP. Looking for that reversal on down. We don't want to see this thing continuously spiking. Again, anything above 544.10 is basically no man's land for bears. You got to stay, bulls are above 544, above 544.10. Underneath 544.10, underneath 544 is where bears take on over. But as you guys can see, it's an equal battle right now. It's not like anyone's winning. It's not like anyone's in fair control. It's an equal battle at this moment. Traders, we just had a little bit of a break of the VWAP. Now back on down towards around 544. I'm going to give it a chance here. I'm going in on 2 contracts right now at this moment. First trade of the day. First trade of the day, I'm in right around 544.05. So I'm just doing 2 contracts right now at this moment, seeing if we are going to be able to get a reversal back on down underneath that 544 area. So as long as we stay underneath that VWAP, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to just keep it at 2 contracts right now. Keep it at 2 contracts. Add if I start seeing a little bit of a lower high. Add if I start seeing some weakness on this play. So I'm down again $80 right here. First trade of the day. I'm staying pretty small, pretty tight. But it's just because I see at this moment what? We have broken this downtrend, right? Or excuse me, we had this uptrend. We had this uptrend. Now we're starting to build lower highs. So before we had higher lows. Now I'm looking for lower highs and I'm looking for the reversal on down. I want to see if we can get a nice big red candle down towards like 543.60. I want to see if we can get a nice big red candle all the way on down and get that weakness. So I'm actually going to add a little bit more right here. See if we can get that, collapse. See if we can get that true weakness. Now, if we ever start going back above 544.10, guess what, traders? I got to get out. I got to be willing to move on. That's just being a smart trader. I'm looking for negative momentum here to really get that sell-off. I've been very patient. I've been waiting. I've been watching. I have 4 contracts on SPX. It's a $3,620 investment, and honestly, I'll be happy with anything over $500 here. Anything over $500, I'll be a pretty happy camper. So let's see if we can actually get that reversal. You guys can see where bottom support's at. Bottom support is at this line of 543.85. Every single time we have hit 543.85, we have bounced off this area. So what's the main issue here? What's the main problem here? We must get underneath 543.85. If we hit 543.85 and we bounce back on up, that is no good. That is no bueno. We want to hit 543.85 and see a nice big red candle down to 543.50. We do not want to hit 543.85 and bounce back on up. I do think we are going to come down to 543.85. We're most likely going to test it at least one more time, but that's the area that either A, you lock in profits, or B, you get ready for the dump and that sell-off. So again, 543.85 is kind of like the area that we're most focused on. Dek, what if it goes back above the VWAP? As long as it doesn't go above this down to this area, then we're good to go. We do have a descending triangle wedge, and that's where I'm feeling very good. So, taking a look over on the SPY. Let's talk about it. SPY, I'm getting ready for a possible pullback. I'm getting ready for a possible break. I'm looking for that possible dump on the day. We have a descending triangle wedge. We're underneath the VWAP. We're looking to stay underneath 544 and get that crack and reversal. As long as we stay underneath the price of 544, 20-ish, I'm all good to go. If we start breaking that purple line, stop loss is going to be hit and I'm going to be getting out. So it really is as simple as that. We start breaking out, Dek's out. That's it. So guys, starting to move ourselves on up here a little bit. Got to get out on this play here pretty soon. If this play again starts breaking on out, I got to keep quick stop losses and not be willing to hold through bad trades. Always have stop losses. No one has ever blown up an account by getting out of a play that's going against them. People again blow up accounts by again holding on to plays, hoping that they're going to be better. So right now, traders, stock is moving itself on up. I do love the descending triangle pattern, but I'm not going to just hold and hope. Have a stop loss. Goes above my purple line, I move on. So I got to see this thing back on down to 544.10 here pretty soon, or I'm getting out momentarily. If it does not drop within the next 10 seconds, okay, it's starting to get a little pullback. I was going to say, if this does not drop within like the next 10 seconds or so, I am again moving on from this play. I'm not, going to take $1,000 loss for no reason. So I'm, again, still ready to rock and roll on this play. I would love to see it back underneath 544.10. Get myself, again, in the areas that I feel good about and confident about. Nope, still moving on up, guys. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. My stop loss just got hit at 544.30. Not going to hold and hope. Not going to hold and hope. Not my style. Not going to take any unnecessary losses. Not going to get squeezed on out. So, nope, not going to do it for me. All day, we've been trying to battle consolidation. All day, we've been trying to battle, basically saying, oh, okay, maybe it'll do this, maybe it'll do this. I wanted to give it a test. It's not doing what I want. If it's not doing what I want, I say, you know what? No forcing, no reason for me to hold and just kind of hope for the best. We can see it's breaking back out of this channel or breaking out of this wedge, and that's where, again, buying volume is moving on in. If I kept on holding right now, guess what? I'd be down over $1,400. If I kept on holding right now, I'd be down even more red. A thing is, team, yesterday, I was able to make over $1,000. My loss is less than $1,000. I stay green. That's what I always want to be thinking about. Right? We always want to be staying green on our overall trend. So we want to make sure we're being smart here. No reason to hold and hope, have stop losses, have discipline. Gave it a chance. Descending wedge underneath the VWAP, but again, that 543.85 mark is just too strong right now. Got to wait for, again, that possible dump on down underneath that. So if it can dump, great. If not, no entry. I'm going to give this day probably about 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes. If we can get a sell-off and a dump, I'm jumping back on in. But if not, I'm not, again, going to force it in any sort of way. But remember, traders, I'm always going to play with the odds in my favor. I'm always going to get involved on plays that I feel confident about. Dek, when would you get back involved on this play? If it goes back underneath the wedge. Back underneath probably 544.20. That's going to be showing that we're falling back inside the wedge underneath 544.20. Back underneath 543.85. I'll definitely re-pull the trigger. I'll definitely look to get back involved over here on this play. But I got to see, again, those dumps. I got to see those cracks. So far, the SPY really hasn't done too much for us. AREB also having a little head and shoulders pattern. Shoulder here, head here, shoulder here. Right now, team, still waiting, still watching. First, if I ended right now, today would be my first red day of the week. Monday, green. Tuesday, green. Wednesday, off day. Thursday, green. Right now, though, SPY still pushing. SPY still pushing, guys. SPY looking for the squeeze. Dek, why are we squeezing? We broke out of this descending triangle pattern. So breaking out of the descending triangle pattern, and now we have top resistance. We're at that 544.85 mark. So you guys can actually see right here, we have top resistance, top resistance, top resistance. If we do spike ourselves on up, where are we going to go up to? 545.18. 545.18, guess what, traders? This is where we will have another line of resistance. That's the old low of the day from yesterday. Old low of the day from yesterday, that could be the new reversal area. Either do call contracts up towards 545.18, or again, wait until 545.18 for the reversal. Or if you want to do put contracts, you got to wait until we drop all the way back on down towards around 544. So again, it's either put contract at 545.18, put contract back underneath the VWAP, or call contracts up towards, again, 545.18. Those are your three options that you guys can do. So those are your three options. Still would be looking over on that put contract June 21st at 5,075 put side, two contracts. When again the S&P 500 gets up to 545.18, looking to hit the top, get a red candle, make back my $700 loss. That's what I'm looking to do. Hit the top, get a red candle, make back my $700 loss. Dek, what's your max loss today? If I lose on this next trade, I'm 100% done. Usually the most I ever allow myself to lose is, again, my yesterday's profit. Or, again, the most I ever allow myself to lose is, again, 2 trades in a row. So let's think about this, guys. If I won, again, $500 on Monday, and I won, again, $1,700 on Tuesday, and I won $1,000 yesterday, and right now I'm down $700, what's the worst thing I want to do? The worst thing I want to do is give back $3,400 and make my entire week pointless. Right now, I'm down $700 on today. That means right now at this moment, I'm still up $2,800 from my trading profits this week. The last thing I want to do is, again, throw away another $2,800. So if I lose this trade, I'm 100% done on the day. If I, again, lose, or again, I go over $1,000, hey, I'll give back yesterday's profits at most. But I'm keeping $500, I'm keeping $1,700, and I'm keeping $1,000 in profit. So I want to make sure no matter what, I'm leaving every single week green, every single month green, every single opportunity I'm trading, either having that very quick discipline or, again, being able to look for new opportunities to pull the trigger. So right now, first trade of the day, been waiting and watching, kind of looking for that next possible play here. And we do have the SPY turning. Why? The SPY is turning because of old top, old top, old top. We still have not been able to actually break through that main resistance line. Right now, SPY still sitting on this. Lux Trader says, hey Dek, I'm joining again. Took a few years off. I'm currently paper trading on Thinkorswim and doing extremely well. But I'm concerned that paper trading doesn't accurately reflect how well I will do in reality. What are your thoughts? Well, this is the issue. How many people here have ever said, oh, I made so much money paper trading, but then once I went to real money, I ended up losing it all. I hear that all the time. It's one of the biggest things I hear as a new trader. They say, I made so much money paper trading, and the moment I went to real money, I ended up losing it all. Why? Why does that happen? Why is it all of a sudden when we're paper trading, we're nonstop, we're winning, we're incredible, we're invincible, and then we go over to real money, and it's like we have no idea what we're doing? Well, one thing is our emotions. Our emotions are not the same. You have to make sure when you are trading your paper trading account, you are doing everything you would do with real money. Literally think that that is real money. That's your account in the future. If you are not taking it seriously, well, guess what? When you get to a real account, it's not going to be giving you the same results. I see sometimes people click buy, they go walk their dog, they go make a sandwich, they come back and they say, hey, I'm up $20,000. Would you do that in real life? The answer is no. So don't do that now. Also, I see a lot of people trade with money they don't have in real life. They come to me, they say, Dek, I made $2.3 million paper trading, but I can't grow a $5,000 account in real life. And I say, you're doing something completely different. If you have $2 million in real life, have a $2 million paper trading account. If you have $5,000 in real life, trade with only $5,000 in your paper trading account. You are going to have different options, different strategies. You are going to have different opportunities to make money, but you're going to have to be able to learn those strategies with a small account. So number one, you have to have emotions the same. Number two, you have to have your paper trading account the same. And that's when you're actually going to be able to grow. Don't have a super large account. Don't trade non-seriously and just do whatever you want. Walk away, take a $30,000 loss. You want to make sure that you are giving it your all, right? I always say, make sure your paper trading is life or death. When I first started, I wanted to be a stock trader so bad that I would get so upset whenever I lost the paper trading account because I knew that if I can't grow a paper trading account, why could I grow a real money account? Do everything you can in real life on your paper trading account so once you again bring it on over, everything's going to be in sync and you'll be able to make a lot of money. So it's very important. Right? Very important. And last but not least, paper trading is not to build up your education. It's to build up experience. Experience in the market. Well, I guess you could say education as well, but it's more, again, just allowing you to learn how the market flows. You're not supposed to make hundreds of millions of dollars in paper trading. In paper trading, it's just supposed to get you in the game. Understand what's happening. Understand what to look for. Understand how the market moves. This is going to build up your knowledge in the market and help you a better trader. So I want to make sure that you guys are all set and understand that here. Right now, S&P 500 still dropping back on down slightly. So SPY still fading, still turning. I still want to see if that VWAP is going to crack. Guys, S&P 500 getting a little bit more of that reversal. Now starting to fade a little bit more. Starting to drop a little bit more. Starting to get a little bit of that crack a little bit more. Right now, as you guys can see, I'm down $740 on the day. We are starting to get a little bit of that weakness. I know it's going to get a small bounce right around 544.10, but if we crack through 544.10 and we go back on down to 544, there's that chance that we could get that big time sell-off that we all want to see. We all want to see it. We all want to see that sell-off. We all want to see that dump. We have spiked on up. We have fallen on down. We have spiked on up. We have fallen on down. We spiked on up. And right now we have a new uptrend, as you guys could probably tell, down towards this region at this moment. Let's give it a few more minutes here. Lux Trader, happy to help. Happy to help as always. Welcome back as well. Welcome back. Right now, SPY still holding. AREB trying to set itself up. Guys, I'll be honest with you. Right now, I feel like I'm starting to get a little forcey. I feel like I'm getting a little forcey. Right now, it's like I'm saying to myself in my head, okay, Dek, make another trade. Get involved on this play. Let's honestly just take a second and see what the SPY has done today. The S&P 500 has done what today? The S&P 500 has fallen and spiked and fallen and spiked and fallen and spiked, and it's just a whole lot of chop. That I don't want to be getting myself involved over on the S&P 500 at this moment. I'll be honest with you. I feel like right now I'm basically going to do the same exact thing that I just did, which is going to be, okay, let me trade just to get involved in something. Let me again pull the trigger and try to make my money back. Let me again jump in on this play for this or that. I see an ascending triangle pattern. That's probably going to be another 30 minutes or 40 minutes or so before that even gets to that possible breakout area in the corner. So you know what? Right here, I'm going to say to myself, hey, keep my losses tight. Keep my losses small. Every single win is bigger than my loss. And I don't want to, again, be putting myself in any sort of play right now that's just not going to do it justice. I don't want to put myself in any sort of play right now that's only going to hurt my account. And I'm not going to start gambling right now. That's not the way I'm going to do things. So traders, at this time, I'm going to call it for myself. As the SPY gets to the corner of the triangle, I probably will be jumping back on the mic. I'll even leave it live right here for everyone, because if we get to the corner of the triangle right around like 11:30, I do want to jump back on the mic so everyone can see what's going on. So I'll throw on some educational lessons right now. I am going to be wrapping up my trades unless, again, we start dumping underneath that purple line, dumping underneath the VWAP, and then I can pull the trigger on a put. So am I saying I'm done on the day? No, but I will say right now, I'm again keeping things tight. I'm keeping things small and being willing to walk away. All right. So, not saying we're done, but I will say if we don't get that good opportunity that I want, then I'm not going to be pulling the trigger anymore. If you guys are, again, going to be sticking around, I love it. I'm going to be throwing on some educational lessons. Other than that, though, traders, I'm wishing everyone the most absolutely incredible Friday. I hope you guys had a fantastic week. We were able to make over $3,000 trading this week, all live over on, again, the live stream here on Tradecaster.com. We are live every single day, Monday through Friday, and I hope, again, you guys are joining us every single day as well, that we are live. It's such an amazing community. It's so fantastic being here with you guys, and as always, help me wrap this thing on up. Such a joy, such an amazing opportunity being live with you guys every single day, and if you need anything at all, as always, please let me know. #1 trading chat room in the world. You guys know it. Help me wrap this thing on up in 3, 2, 1. Ah-hoo! I love you guys. We'll keep our eyes peeled over on the S&P 500 and see what comes on up here next. Thank you, traders. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll keep you guys updated in case I jump in on anything else. Thank you, guys.
I'm losing it.
Is honestly the best.
I love Tradecaster.
Happy Saturday, everybody. Just a friendly reminder. Over the past 12 months, how much money did you make day trading using your strategy? $551,000.
That kind of money, it's like you know what you're doing.
Sean knows his stuff.
So this is exactly how I did it.
Perfect.
I want everyone to go trade.
Go! Let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Hang on.
It wasn't pleasant. That was during lunch hours.
Take some pictures.
Now we're from $1,200. We got some action right here. $2,000, $760.
If I tell you how I was able to do this, go out and make that money, you make a killing.
Can we start getting ourselves in the green somehow? Get it, people! A bot sell man making HUDI $1,000. Ollie with a $327 trade. Boom, guys. $989 profit. 2,600. Oh, baby! Oh, baby! Oh, baby! You guys want to see something good today? We're bringing something good to the house.
I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I'm losing it.
So in today's lesson, I want to be going over and showing you all the websites that I use every single day. I want to show you the resources that I use every single day, the scanners, the screeners, where I get a ton of information. So by the time that this lesson ends, you will know exactly what I'm using, the softwares that I'm using, the brokers that I'm using, making sure that you say, all right, I don't have any confusion in this field. I know where Dek's getting his information. I know the sources that he's getting it from, and you can use the same exact things that I'm using. If you're saying, Dek, I see you make a lot of money day in and day out, how the heck are you doing it? Well, a good part of it and a great part of it is going to be from the sources that I get. For me to find the hottest stocks every day, for me to do research on these plays and on these companies, I need to have a starting point. And that's what this is all about. Getting a starting point to get ideas. There's over 9,000 stocks in the stock market available to trade. We need to get ideas and we need to have different resources to figure out which ones are the best to trade. So I just want to start very simple and then move forward. What I'm going to start off with first is what you're seeing all behind me right now. What I have on my screen at this moment, as you guys know, is trade ideas. Trade ideas are the scanners that are behind my screen. This is what I'm using when you see all these colorful charts and such. Trade ideas, you guys can use this as well, and this is going to give you a ton of information. They do have AI trade ideas, they have different softwares, different screeners, different scanners, but every single morning when I wake on up, I do look at my trade idea scanners to see what is popping up right away. So it's very simple to know, hey, what's the #1 top gainer when it's just given to me right here over on AUUD, and I can get some great information over on it, and that's going to make my life extremely easy. So what else, makes my life extremely easy? Well, the start of the day, I also use my Fox Runner News Scanner. Fox Runner News Scanner is going to be telling me what is all the hottest news, what is all the worst news, and I'm able to get a ton of information on this. So I can be able to break this on down, get an idea of what's the best news, basically off of 4-star, 3-star, 2-star ratings. I can see what is the best press release out there and what's the reason behind it. I can open up the full article and I can read more in on this. It does have real-time data as well, which I can be able to change this and be able to see, okay, what's the lowest top gainer today or the biggest loser? What is the best top gainer of the day? So I also have real-time news with, of course, the percentage gains, what the press release is. I can also jump in and get more information about this certain company. I could do charting on this certain company as well, look at all the different news on the stock, change it to different filings, whatever it may be, and get an entire overview about this. So if you guys head on over to Fox Runner, you can go ahead and grab yourself a news scanner. If you guys are watching this, of course, right now in this present moment, unfortunately, Fox Runner is still not done yet. It's still in the production, but it will be coming on out within the next month or so. So make sure that you guys are checking that on out. Next on up is going to be my level 2, my chart down here, how I'm placing my orders, how I was able to make $550 today, how I'm able to go ahead and place these option trades, how I'm able to find different locates on a stock, whatever it may be. This is from Lightspeed. So this is my broker Lightspeed, and this is the broker that I'm using every single day. This is going to help you be able to grab shorts to short these plays, the options that I get. This is the broker that I use day in and day out. So covering my screen, that's what I think is just like the most important to start on off. Deck, what do you have on your screen? I have my Lightspeed broker, I have my Fox Runner news scanner, and I have my Trade Ideas news scanners. Those are my top 3 things that I use every single day to have the answers given to me. Trade Ideas and Fox Runner gives me the answers, and then I go ahead and make my trades over on my Lightspeed scanners. But what other free information do I use? Well, if you are a brand new trader and you're trying to figure out, okay, what's the best way to learn how to stock trade, but I don't have much money, heading on over to Investopedia. Investopedia is a great way just to learn. Basically, when I first started stock trading, I went down the Investopedia rabbit hole where I did not know what to do whatsoever when I first started trading. And I said, well, how do I learn how to trade? And I would just go right here and say, what am I looking for? And I would say, let's just go with day trading basics. And then I would just go right here, day trading the basics and how to get started. So I'd watch this lesson, watch a couple videos, and read this and read this and read this and read this. And then maybe I'd get to like, what is pattern day traders? And then I would click this, pattern day traders, and it would take me to a new page, talking about pattern day traders. And then we have day trading and day trading and day trading. And then I would say, okay, what's this? Okay, what's this right here? Margin call. And then I'll click margin call and give me examples of this and this and this. And you can see we have all these different side, bars as well, which gives us a ton of information. The basics of day trading, strategies, why is day trading controversial, how to start day trading, how to make a living day trading. So basically, when I was back in college 10 years ago, I would go through every single thing here, write it all down, basically give myself an entire college course. I wanted to learn about day trading. I would click again different hyperlinks. It would take me to again more information and basically give me a whole nother idea and a whole nother lesson. If you spend hours upon hours upon hours over in Investopedia reading and studying and writing things down, you are going to get a ton of knowledge. You're going to get a ton of education here. And this is what I did in college, where I basically said, hey, you know what? I don't want to just follow and get a degree and be in $80,000 of debt and work a 9-to-5 job like everyone else. One of the things that I did is I had a notebook, opened up my notebook, and I just took notes as if a professor was teaching me. And I sat there and I wrote as much as I could, learning and trying to write it all down and be able to soak it on in. Because if you just sit here and read something, it goes in one ear, out the other most times. Try to read it and digest it. Read it and understand it. Read it and keep pushing yourself. They also do have an academy right here, investing for beginners, trading for beginners. That is going to cost you money though. And I don't really want to sit here and be like, okay, go ahead and pay for things. You can get a ton of information right here and you guys will be all set. Introduction to swing trading. So you'll be able to get a lot of great information right off the rip, and it's all for free, and I want to help you guys on out and be able to get a ton of free information. So check that stuff on out. Absolutely great, absolutely awesome. Where's another great spot to get free information? Free information is just going to be over on YouTube. You know, I post videos constantly over on my YouTube, and I want you guys watching these. Swing Trading 101, showing you guys live examples, the strategy that I use, right? How to never lose on a stock trade, giving you guys my full strategy of exiting and entering, how to be able to average in and average out, you know, why you are not successful in day trading yet and how to become successful. So I'm always posting these different videos to make sure that you are becoming better day in and day out. So make sure, of course, you guys are checking out YouTube, and there's tons of free resources over on YouTube. Because remember, we want to basically be asking ourselves and thinking about what is going to be the upcoming plays, what is going to be the upcoming hype. And a great place that I actually figure out, you know, what is going to be the upcoming plays and the upcoming hype is I do read over on Reddit. You know, for example, you know, I'll go over to the cryptocurrency tab over on Reddit and I'll type in what crypto narratives will lead to the next bull market. So people will say, hey, what do we think is going to be the next, you know, narrative? Well, people think it's going to be AI plays, maybe metaverse plays, maybe gaming plays. Maybe it has to do with, again, a level 1s, level 2s, DeFi, storage, supply chain, real world assets, what I'm in at this time, payment, NFTs. So the thing is, guys, it's not like I just go over to Reddit and say, what's going to be the next bull run? And I buy every single thing people recommend. No, that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm gaining ideas from going over to Reddit, typing out different things. You know, let's just go over right here. Let's go over to Google and type in, will the stock market crash in 2024? And then just type out Reddit. And let's just see here. I found the catalyst for 2024 crashed. What are your predictions regarding the 2024? And I'm not sitting here saying listen to absolutely every single person, but I'm saying get ideas of what could be coming on up. I found the catalyst for 24 crash, you know, and basically give some ideas and talk about, you know, what these people are thinking. This does not mean agree with everything that you see that has the most likes, but look at this great information here that I could be able to start getting ideas, come up with my different ideas, and now again, come up and formulate a game plan. And this is all free over on Reddit, and it's a lot of just awesome ideas that maybe you're not going to find over on, you know, a site like CNBC.com. But that does take me to CNBC.com. CNBC is a great website where I'm able to say to myself, I'm going to get free information day in and day out. One thing that I do every single morning, as you guys know, is I come over and always click this one where it always says stocks are a little changed, stocks are up, stocks are down, and it's going to give me information of why stocks are up, why stocks are down. It's always great to wake up and know right away, why is the stock market up, why is the stock market down, and what are things that we want to be looking at in the future. So CNBC.com, that is going to be a great website. They do send out a morning squawk every single day that you guys can be able to get. So if you guys go to Google, type in CNBC Morning Squawk, you guys will be able to sign up to their email list right here, CNBC Morning Squawk newsletter. Click CNBC newsletters, and then after this, you guys can scroll on down and get the Morning Squawk. So that's something that I always get sent to my email every single day, giving me a great idea and updates of what is going to be coming up in the market in the near future. So that's absolutely great. Always very helpful. Now, what else is very helpful is Twitter. Just like when I'm talking about Reddit. Reddit is going to give us great ideas. Twitter is also going to give us great ideas. And while there is some stuff that is not true when people just trying to pump plays, there's a lot of great factual people that you can follow as well, such as like Earnings Whisper. Earnings Whisper is going to give us the exact day of earnings, the exact time of the earnings, and gives us an update on when these quarterly earnings reports are going to be coming on out. So the thing is, make sure you guys follow a lot of valuable, a lot of great traders that are going to be able to bring you value to your trading, right? I want to be able to find stock traders that are going to be highly recommended by others and for you guys to get great ideas. So for myself, right here over on Dekmar Trades via Tradecaster, that's Dekmar Trades is the username, and you get to see every single day I'm always posting tons of information for you guys so that every single person knows exactly what to be looking at. LGVN, SMFL, PCS, all news at 8:30. Hardest spikes so far this morning, PTN, SPY, you know, get ready for this play, cracking off this trend line. Here's again some updates. Here's some things that you guys should be watching. Here's again all the top gainers on the day and in the morning. So I'm always trying to help you guys on out. But at the same time, you guys can always click these different tickers and be taken to what other people are stating. Remember, traders, it's all about finding what is going to be the best idea. Get ideas and then figure out a plan to be able to say to yourself, all right, hey, is this play going to be worth my time or not? And that's what takes us over to another free website, which is called StockTwits. StockTwits is almost like Twitter, but for stocks. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is where you usually get a ton of just potential pumping and dumping. So let's let's go with AUUD for a second. If someone asked me right now, what do I think of AUUD? I would say AUD looks like we have a beautiful uptrend, but this uptrend is starting to collapse and this uptrend is starting to crack. A lot of times I'm going to look for a play over on StockTwits by seeing how much volume it has, how much activity it has. So you could scroll on down and see all these people, saying, bullish AUD, keep rejecting, a little risky right now, but I believe it's bullish. People think AUD is going up higher and higher and higher. What I look for more is how many people are talking about this play. I see 11 minutes ago, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're constantly getting posts. If we're constantly getting posts, guess what? That's constantly people looking at this play. We constantly have attention towards this play. We constantly have people, again, focused over on this play. And the more people that are focused over on this play, the more hype that can go into on this one. You can get settings and change your settings around, but I always like posting post sentiment right here, bullish and bearishness, and be able to see, of course, how many posts are actually coming through this. Remember, why do stocks go up? Stocks go up because people buy them. Why do stocks go down? Because people sell them. The more people are talking about a certain stock, the more money you're going to be able to make. If I see a lot of people talking about a play, I know that there's going to be volatility. If I type in a stock, I'm just going to type in some random play here. Let's just type in IONQ. 4 minutes ago, there was a message. 20 minutes ago, there was a lesson. 35 minutes ago, there was a message. That's not as much volume, of course, as over here where people are typing in less than a minute. So I know that there's going to be more volume, more volatility, more hype on this play rather than IONQ at this time, which might be a little bit slower. So you just always want to be remembering that, the volume equals activity, activity equals profit. Another great website is going to be allpennystocks.com. You can click right here, hot penny stocks, and something I do every single night is I go over to hot penny stocks, I see the NASDAQ, OTC, and I can see, what are some of the hottest plays that have the most volume on average every single day. Remember, volume equals activity, activity equals profit. So we could see, the OTC stocks, the stocks that are the hottest. The ones that are bold are the ones that are more relative to right now. So FRSN up 122 million in volume. FRSN is going to be a rather hot play. You can see these are, rather hot plays as well. MDIA, HUBC, SPCB, XII. These are relatively hot plays that you might want to be keeping your eyes peeled on as they do have good volume. Now remember, team, it's not always volume that is going to lead towards very hot rips and runs. It's going to be what's the average volume, and you want to make sure the current volume is 10 times hotter. So for instance, right, let me just kind of break this on down, just a very quick little lesson here. Let's go to just yahoofinance.com for a second. So we type in any sort of play right now, such as AUUD, which is the #1 top gainer. Remember, we have volume. 101 million shares have been traded so far today. Well, why is AUD going on such a great rip and run? Because an average day, it only has 393,000. So remember, the more volume you have, the better. But it doesn't matter if you always have 101 million in volume. You want to have a 2, 3, 5, 10 times more than your average. That's what brings in a lot of hype. And that brings me to my next website right here, which is Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance should be everyone's homepage. When you open up your internet browser, you should have Yahoo Finance and be ready to type out every single ticker that you want. You can get a ton of news, you can get charting, you can get conversations, you can get statistics, you can get a ton of great stuff. Now, the unfortunate thing is Yahoo Finance isn't really in real time. They definitely have updated a little bit better, so it moves a little bit quicker, but at the same time, a lot of it isn't in real time. There's going to be slight delays over on Yahoo Finance. So you can't really use it as a scanner like Foxrunner or Trade Ideas, but you can get a lot of great information for free, which is very nice. So I would definitely make sure that you guys are watching that. Now, as for charting, a lot of times you guys can get some free charting over on TradingView. So if I wanted to go ahead and take a look over on the SPY, we can go ahead, check this on out. Here's the SPY for some charting, and I can go ahead and do all the different charts that I want to do, break this on down, add anything that I want to add, add my trend lines, draw around, do this, do that, add different indicators on whatever chart that I'm interested on. So I can type in, Tesla, I could type in S&P 500, whatever you guys are looking at, you guys can then go ahead and chart and figure out everything that you want from your charting plays. You can change the chart from candles to bars. You can change it to line graphs, however you guys want to look at it. So this is a great and very popular free trading website for you guys to be able to do different charts and be able to figure out, what could be the next play on different moves in the market. You can also do this over on stockcharts.com. Stockcharts.com is what I actually used to use all the time. There is now a paid version of this, but there also is a free version that you can type everything on out and get a great understanding. It definitely looks a little bit more old old than TradingView, but it just comes down to your personal preference on how you guys want to be doing this. So you guys can change things to candlesticks, get, a 5-day chart right here. You guys can do a 3-month chart. You guys can change the daily to hourly, whatever it may be. You guys can add different indicators so you can see candlesticks, daily, chart size, be able to break it on down, change the color of the charts. You have so much information and be able to do anything that you want. Different overlays, moving averages, different indicators, update the chart, be able to add everything that you need right here. So the S&P 500, have the MACD, understanding the RSI right here, going with the 13 EMA and the 50-day moving average. I can change this over to a 1-minute chart if I wanted to get real-time value, more on a paid subscription. But stockcharts.com is a great website that you guys can, of course, check on out to get a ton of information. Another website that I use every single day right here, marketwatch.com/economy and politics. This week's major U.S. economic reports and Fed speakers. Something I use day in and day out to be able to know when some hot news is coming on up, such as on Wednesday, we have CPI data. CPI data coming on out shows me Wednesday at what time, Thursday at what time, Friday at what time. It gives me a great idea and a great understanding of, hot things that I should be watching that the global or the United States world is going to be focusing on. So it always tells me, again, these Federal Reserve plays. Another great website that everyone should be looking at is going to be finviz.com. When you guys take a look over on Finviz here, what can you guys realize? You do have, the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P 500, Russell 2000, shows me top gainers on the day, shows me top losers on the day, shows me new highs, new lows, unusual volume, most volatile. Does have an entire screener. We have an entire lesson over on YouTube already. If you guys go over to Sean Dekmar Finviz, I show you the best screeners over on this right here. Best screeners for 2024 just came out 3 weeks ago. Best Finviz screeners for 2023. So you guys can see I always like doing these Finviz screener settings to keep you guys updated and prepared on everything that you guys need. So make sure you guys go check that on out, as you guys will know exactly how to set this on up. But there are tons of things that you guys can see right here. Different groups on 1-day performance, which companies are doing some of the best, your portfolio, insider information, a lot of great stuff over on Finviz right there. It's another kind of site that gives you a lot of great information, Zacks.com. This is going to give us Zacks, rank on some best plays. Uber, SM, Canoe, Zorro, first ranked by movers on April 8th. Different recommendations on maybe what you would want to be looking at. Now, a lot of people also say, Deck, how can I track my trades? I know a lot of people like to use TradeZella, all-in-one trading journal and analytics tool. So a lot of people are very interested in tracking their trades. This is another one that does have a subscription towards it, but make sure you guys go ahead and check this one on out. That is very awesome and very great as well. Something I think is very important is, I've talked about this before, is head on over to MailChimp.com. MailChimp is a way to send out newsletters to many traders and many people, and a lot of companies use MailChimp. But what I use MailChimp for is I basically write out a template for myself every single day. So basically for me to know that I've covered everything that I need to do. Now you can do a free MailChimp account. You don't need to send emails out to anyone. But I've been doing this, as you guys can see, since June 11, 2015. That's how long I've been using this template for. And basically it just gives me a guide every single morning when I wake up. Every single morning I write out a market briefing. I write out a recap of my previous day. I write out the stocks that I like the most every day, the stocks to short every day, the stocks that I should be watching, stocks with hot news, OTC stocks to watch, pre-market movers, gap up, gap down, stocks being promoted, top 10 hottest stock, top gainers, top losers, most active, earnings reports. So basically when I write out everything every single morning, it just gives me a better understanding and helps me kind of break down what should I be focusing on. Remember, team, think about this as a study guide. If you wrote the study guide, you know it a lot better than if you read it. Same exact thing with stock trading. If you can write out absolutely everything, guess what? You're going to do a great job because you have a full comprehensive understanding of it. Same exact thing, traders. When you guys come on over to tradecaster.com, Tradecaster, where I live stream every single day, where all these traders are live streaming and you can be able to watch for free some of these traders here. That is going to be absolutely amazing. And we also do have the video library teaching you absolutely everything you need to know about stock trading with, again, the level 2 boot camps, with the shorting boot camps, with the candlestick boot camps, with the indicator boot camps, with the trendline boot camps. Make sure you guys are getting over here, watching and taking advantage of the videos. People want answers. I'll tell you guys this right now. Tradecaster, the reason why it's here is for you to get answers like this. I do not want Swing trading is the topic that we are going to be going over. What is swing trading? How does swing trading work? Now, what does it mean when we want to swing trade a stock? Well, it is subjective in a sense. It is, am I going to just hold it overnight, or am I going to hold it for a few day to a few week span? We have day trading. Day trading is going to be in and out within the same day. Swing trading is going to be in and out probably within a few days span. Some traders may say that's within 2 to 3 days. Some people may go a little bit longer and say maybe 1 to 2 weeks. But regardless, it's not a long-term hold, but it's definitely not a day trade either. You would be holding it over for a couple of nights. Now, let's talk about swing trades and the way that we can be able to get involved in our swing trades. So, first things first, we can always get involved with shares. Buying shares of a stock and being able to hold it for a multi-day period. Now, what is so great about shares? Well, there is no time decay. And when we have no time decay, we can just keep holding and holding and holding. When we have shares, there is nothing that is going to change the value of the shares other than the price. When the price goes down, your profit goes down. When the price goes up, your profit goes up. And no matter what, if you're at $10 at Monday and you're at $10 on Friday, you will have the same exact profit. While on the other hand, when we do options, we know that we have to be able to pick the expiration date. We know that we have to pick the strike price. We know that we are going to have a certain amount of time to be more successful. So let's just think about something here, team. When we plan on jumping into a stock, let's say MSTR, and we see that MSTR is getting a little bit weaker. I'm saying MSTR, this play is going to continuously drop and fall and fade. There are two different options that we can do here. Number one, I can short shares. Number two, I could short or do put contracts on options. Now, what is so great? The great thing would be if I wanted to get 1,000 shares over on MSTR, every dollar that this drops, I would be making $1,000. What's the issue here, team? It would take me $1.6 million of an account to be able to get 1,000 shares on this play over on MSTR. So the thing is, as you guys realize, it's going to be extremely difficult to be able to afford that much. It's not going to be easy to be able to have that big of an account that I can go ahead and jump in on shares. So the issue is most people head on over to options. Now with options though, we need to have a few things correct. When we are on shares, all we need to get right is the stock going to go up or is the stock going to go down? When we're in options, we not only have to guess what stock is going to go up and which one's going to go down, but we also have to pick within a time frame, the expiration of when it's going to go up or when it's going to go down. And we also have to pick the price that it has to exceed before the time frame ends, if it's going to go up or if it's going to go down. So if you ask me right now, which is easier, shares or options? Shares is by far easier, which is why so many people just add a little bit of money into their Apple investment long term, or a lot of people add a little bit money on their Tesla investment long term, and they have shares because it's very difficult to pick the winning stock. Now, to even add on top of that, is it going to go up or down within a time frame? And then to add even on top of that, up or down within a time frame to a certain price. That's what option trading is. But since we do have more that we need to calculate, we also have a better chance of success. So for instance, if we have a $10,000 account and we want to be able to buy shares of MSTR, we are getting barely no shares whatsoever on MSTR because it's a $1,618 stock. We're going to be able to afford what, 4 or 5 shares maybe, of MSTR. It's not going to be much. But if I have a $10,000 account on MSTR, I could be able to buy 1, 2, maybe 3 contracts. Now, contracts, for those who do not know, are going to give you 100 shares for that time period. So instead of just having 1, 2, 3 shares of MSTR, now I'm able to get 1, 2, 300 temporary shares on my contracts. So you could see 300 shares is going to be able to pay a lot more money in a quicker amount of time, which is what is so attractive to buyers. So many people want to buy on options because they're saying to themselves, I can make a lot of money. Yes, you can, but with the opposite side, you can also lose a lot more money. So when we break this on down and we're trying to figure out, okay, hey, MSTR, what do I want to get involved here? MSTR, first things first is we have the expiration time. I have until April 5th. I have until April 12th. Now, obviously, the answer is, why don't we just give ourselves as much time as possible? The more time that we give ourselves, the more expensive our contracts is going to be. So if we have a small account, we might only be able to afford April 5th. Now, Dek, what price do we have to get to before April 5th? So let's say we're doing puts, which means we are betting that it's going to fall. Well, Dek, why don't we just put a price that's very close to it? It's at 1,620 right now. So why don't we just do 1,615? So we bet by April 5th, it's going to go down to 1,615 and we're going to start dropping. Look, it's already going down to 1,615 right now. Let's get involved on these puts right here. Well, again, you have to realize the closer you are to the current price, the more expensive your contracts are going to be. So basically, if you have a smaller account and you want to make as much money as possible, doing larger blue chips is usually not the way. Usually what I would say is look for penny stocks, look to be able to look for those quick pumps, look for those quick dumps. If you're saying, hey, I just don't have the risk tolerance for that, well then buy shares and allow these stocks to be able to build on up. And if you're saying, no, I'm willing to go ahead and take a little bit more chances, well then you do have to be able to study options. And options, if you do have a small account, unfortunately, you can't buy yourself a lot of time. And if you can't buy yourself a lot of time, you probably can't buy yourself, very close contracts. So the way that you have to make money on these swing trades is going to be doing closer expiration, which means I'm limiting my time, and I want to be able to do a price which is not out of reach, but it's going to be difficult to get to because then I'll be able to make a lot more money. So for instance, I can see that MSTR usually gets wild climbs, wild rips, wild dumps here. We know that April 5th is this Friday. It's Monday right now. So we do have 4 days for us to be able to make some money. So MSTR right here, team, when we take a look over on this play, I would say a good reasonable area would be maybe 1,575. So April 5th, 1,575. Put contracts, and then you can afford 1, 2, 3 contracts. It's a balancing act. It's a balancing act between how much time do I have and how far is this play going to be able to come on down to. Yes, you can make contracts extremely inexpensive if you want to. Do April 5th, do put contracts and say, oh, I'm gonna do put contracts that is gonna fall on down towards $1,000 here. Yes, traders, that would mean within the next 5 days, we're gonna have a red candle all the way down to this blue line. What are the odds of that happening? The odds are very slim. And since the odds are so slim, they're going to be very inexpensive contracts. But the odds are against you that you probably are going to end up losing all your money because that's not going to happen. So you have to be able to figure out what's the most realistic opportunity. But when you see people on Wall Street Bets, on Reddit, when people say, I turned $100 into $10 million, how did they do that? Usually it's a bet like this. I'm giving myself 4 days for a stock to fall $600. And you know what? Sometimes that does happen. And when it does happen, you might buy these contracts at this point for a very inexpensive amount. These contracts are probably cost $200. But by the time it comes on down towards this, these contracts are now going to not be worth $200. These contracts are now going to be worth $20,000. So imagine getting 20 contracts at $200 and selling 20 contracts for $20,000 a piece. So basically it comes on down to you got something inexpensive, now they're extremely valuable, and now you're selling them while they're extremely valuable. So when we're talking about swing trades and the right way to be able to place these orders, it does come down to practice. A lot of times when I'm doing a multi-day hold, you have to give yourself more time, because if you don't give yourself more time, you are going to be fighting time decay. Time decay is going to be that hourglass. You guys know what I'm talking about? You ever seen in those movies, those hourglass where they turn the sand over and the sand comes right through the middle and say you have 1 hour, you have 1 day to be able to do this mission or whatever happens. So basically that's what we have on stock trades. We have an hourglass where really we have a certain amount of time until our contracts become worthless, until they become no point whatsoever. They're going to lose us all of our money. So what we have here is we have our X and Y axis. We have right here, when we first get involved over on our play, we have our contracts up this high. They are extremely high in value. So we have our value right here. At the bottom, we have our time. As time progresses, here is 0 weeks to our first week. Here is 1 week to 2 weeks. Here's 2 weeks to where we have our expiration at the end of the 3rd week. We are always going to see our contracts do this. They're going to keep fading and falling and dropping and fading and falling and dropping until they are worth absolutely nothing. So the best way to be able to make money is if the S&P 500, if MSTR, if Tesla, if whatever play that you are getting involved in is going to be able to make its strong move in the beginning of your trade. So you are betting that this play is going to fall. Now, as this play falls, guess what's going to happen? Your contract's value is going to be able to go on up, because your value is still doing very well and your value is going on up very high. But now let's say for the next few days though, we just move sideways on the stock. The stock moves up a little bit, the stock moves down a little bit, the stock moves up a little bit, and you don't get out of your position where you are heading to your ultimate finale of it becoming worthless. So as again the stock consolidates, your contracts are going to now come back down to where they started, because you again not only need to predict what the stock is going to do, you have to predict in the certain time frame and what price it's going to get to. So you want to be able to get that price moving right away, because if a few days go by and you're not still consistently moving on down, that's when your contracts are actually going to become more worthless. So you might say here, and I see a lot of traders say this all the time, we have this happen where the stock is in the red, fell on down, and we are actually lower than where we started. We started here and now we're all the way down here. We are lower than where we started, but your profit, as you guys can tell, is all the way back down to nearly nothing. You lost not only your profits to nothing, you lost your entire investment. Well, why did you lose your entire investment? Dek, I put in $5,000 right here. I was up $1,000 right here, but now I'm down $5,000 right here because you held those contracts until the end of the expiration. No matter what, no matter if the stock is sky high or if the stock is all the way on down to the bottom, whichever way you want, if you hold your contracts all the way to the end of the expiration, they are going to become worthless. So I see this happen a lot as well, where I see someone get involved into a play, a stock falls, dumps all the way on down, dumps all the way on down, dumps all the way on down, all the way down here. You just turned $5,000 right now into $25,000. You're up 20 grand and you say, Dek, I'm going to keep holding it. And the stock will still just sit all the way here for the next 2 to 3 weeks. But guess what? You're going to be up 25 grand, but the next day you're only up 22 grand and then 20 grand and then 19 and then nothing. And now down 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. And now you're back down to zero. Remember, it doesn't matter if the stock goes up or down. You want to try to be able to make as much money as you possibly can within that first half of your contract. That first half of your contract is when it's going to hold the most value. The second half of the contract is when it's going to decrease in value extremely quickly. So you have to say to yourself, okay, I'm getting involved in MSTR right here. MSTR, April 5th, I need to basically have the stock make the move that I want it to before Wednesday. If we again go to Wednesday and I don't have a move, let me get out because it's going to need a dramatic move for me to actually become profitable. So a lot of times when I'm looking for overnight holds or whatnot, I always actually go 2 weeks out just to give myself a little bit more time. Give yourself more time. You might have to pay a little bit more, but it is worth it for you. Now, you might be saying, all right, Dek, this is all great, but how do I find stocks that are going to be good long-term investments? How do I find stocks that are actually worth, great swing trades? Well, a couple different ways. We do have blue chips, we do have penny stocks. Penny stocks, guys, the easiest and best way to be able to know this for penny stocks is to be looking for stocks that have strong momentum. Momentum plays is what it's all about in the penny stock world. Unfortunately, we haven't seen any big momentum plays recently, but the thing that you guys want to do every single day is look at the top gainers. Look for stocks that are up 80, 90, 100, 200, 300%. Those are the ones that have the best opportunity and the best chance to be able to have a gap up overnight and more continuation. A gap up overnight and more continuation. What it comes on down to is usually the way you close is the way you open. You see a strong close, you usually have a gap up and a strong open. So if we're talking about penny stocks here, we want to be looking for momentum to be able to carry on. If you see a stock that has a huge spike in the morning and comes crashing all the way back on down, you don't want to say, oh yeah, this is the one I'm swing trading overnight. Well, why? Well, hopefully it bounces back on up. Sometimes I see traders do this. I see stocks again, spike on up, dumps all the way back on down, and then traders say, yep, I'm buying it for a swing trade right here. And I say, why? And they say, well, I hope it keeps going up. Guys, when you have a ginormous spike, and now the ginormous spike has given everything back, it's done with. What you need in the penny stock or the micro cap world is you need a stock that does this. Spike on up in the morning, fall back on down, consolidate, spike up towards new highs, fall back down, consolidate, spike on, and it's consistently climbing. Then you can definitely look for momentum to carry up overnight, and that leads to new highs. So when you have stocks that are consistently moving up throughout the day, not just in the morning, stocks that are not dumping on down, but consistently hitting new highs, 100, 200, 300%, those are going to be some of the best plays that you guys can be focusing on and looking at. As for blue chips, one of the best strategies that you guys can do, as I always say for swing trades, is what? The 13 EMA. The 13 EMA is one of the best ways to know if a stock is worth, getting involved in. Let's just go with Meta, okay? Meta. Let's get rid of everything other than the 13 EMA. Get rid of the 200-day moving average, get rid of the 50-day moving average, and we do have the 13 EMA right here. 13 EMA is what I call the flexible trend line. You guys have heard me say this. If you guys watched again my video on indicators, you guys already know all about this. But really, when we have a trend line, we know whenever we are above the trend line, we're considered bullish. Whenever we're underneath the trend line, we're considered bearish. So if we can find stocks that are always above a trend line, we could just hold them until they break. That's what the 13 EMA is all about. So for instance, if we spot Meta, let's just pick a random area. I'm just gonna pick right here. I can buy in at the price of 228 and I don't need to do anything else. If I buy shares, if I buy a long-term contract, I can now say to myself, okay, I buy in at 228 and now I don't have to worry about green days. I don't have to worry about red days as long as we stay above this green line. So we're staying above it. Hey, here's a red day. I don't need to get scared. Green day comes. Oh, red day. Do I need to get out? Nope, you don't. You're still above 13 EMA. Deck red day. Don't need to get out. Deck big red day. Doesn't matter. You're still above 13 EMA. Still above 13 EMA. Still above 13 EMA. And then finally, you crack the 13 EMA. Guess where you crack the 13 EMA right here? You crack the 13 EMA at the price of 300. So if you just watch this little stretch right here, you have now gone from 229 all the way up towards 300 without doing anything whatsoever just because you stayed above this green squiggly line. Now, on the contrary, we can see that right now Meta is actually underneath the 13 EMA. So guess what you could do at this moment if you wanted to? You could say, all right, hey, I'm actually going to short Meta. I'm going to do put contracts. And as long as it stays underneath 500, I know that that's going to be a strong resistance line. I know that 13 EMA is going to be holding tough. And I definitely think there could be opportunity for this to be able to feed back on down. I definitely think there could be opportunity for this to be able to fall. I definitely think there could be opportunity to be able to drop as we're no longer bullish, but we're actually underneath it now on the bearish side. So we could again be able to do that. NVDA, same exact thing. Take a look right here. NVDA traders, we see that we're above the 13 EMA. Look at this. Deck, do I need to get out? Do I need to get out? Do I need to get out? Do I need to get? And then finally you get out right here. You just went from the price of $4.95 all the way up to $6.95, a $200 climb without you having any sort of fear whatsoever. Now, obviously this is a great climb, but it will work with bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. You can see all the way over here as well, just jumping in. And as long as it holds that 13 EMA, you are good to go. So when it comes to blue chips, never do a swing trade on the call side if you're bearish underneath the 13 EMA. Never do a call side like on Meta, for example. If we're underneath the 13 EMA, we want to be bullish, not bearish. Never go opposite of the green. Now, what else can we do to be able to find good plays also? We do have a great lesson over on my YouTube, Finviz Screeners of 2024, and we want to be talking about plays that are having great setups here, team. Plays that are going to be great swing trades. So what can we do here? Swing trades, finviz.com, EPS growth, positive. So we want to go to positive. We want to go EPS growth, positive. We want to go dividend yield. We want to go positive. Sales growth, positive. We want to go to return on assets, positive. We want to go over to EPS growth this year, positive. EPS growth, positive. Sales on next year, positive. Sales growth, positive. We want to be positive on everything. This is going to be giving us a great starting point. Then what else do we want to see here? RSI, slightly overbought. Now, why slightly? Because this is not long-term investments. This is swing trades. Swing trades, if we're slightly overbought, we know that we have positive momentum. We don't want to be buying stocks that have a 90 on the RSI, stocks that have a very slight overbought, which have positive momentum if we plan on holding for a few days. That's going to be great for us. We also want to be staying above, they don't have the 13 EMA, but it'd be very nice if we can stay above, let's say, the 20 moving average. So I always like to go above. Right here, we can also go 50-day moving average, and we can also go the price above. So now again, we got 89 plays right here, which is absolutely awesome and absolutely great. Is there anything else that I want to really be adding? And I can always add as we go. I always like to go insider ownership. Insider ownership. Let's just go over 10%. So this basically shows that not only are they positive, but we also have insiders holding it. We're moving on up. We're slightly overbought. We are again 50-day moving average. And let me just see institutional ownership. We could go over 10% as well. This is giving us even better plays. And look at this, guys. We've gone from 25 stocks. If you guys want to see what we started with, click screener, scroll on down. We started with 9,489 options. Now, I have no idea what these plays are going to be, but I'm going to guess what they're going to be. They're all going to be plays that have been moving on up over the last few months that are probably above their 13 EMAs that are going to be great plays. So I'm going to move this on my other screen, but we're going to take a look over on AAON, AGR, and just kind of go through this list a little bit. Let's just see what we have here. AAON, starting on off. Take a look right here. AAON from $50 now up to 87, holding this. Let's go through some other plays that are looking very solid at this time. Let's go with AM, right? Just kind of going through the list. AM from $11 to $14, a little bit smaller. Let's go with AOS right here. AOS from $65 to $90, doing absolutely great. BRKR, Brucker. You guys can see $56 to $93, holding this 13 EMA, absolutely beautiful, absolutely awesome. This is great. DKS, holding the 13 EMA, absolutely beautiful. Look at this beautiful climb, beautiful rip, beautiful run. You guys can get what I'm going for. MPLX here. MPLX, holding the 13 EMA, bouncing off this area, going from $35 to $41. You guys can see the list right here. But team, when we're thinking about swing trades, there's a few things, of course, that I wanted to be able to break down for you. Number one is if you are going to do shares, great, make your life easy. If you're going to do contracts, there's a lot of things you need to think about. What's the price? What's the expiration? Are we going up and down? What's stock? You know, there's a lot of things that you need to be able to do. You can increase your account dramatically, but at the same time, you can also decrease it dramatically. If you're looking for swing trades on penny stocks are going to be different than swing trades on options. Swing trades on blue chips are going to be a little bit more simple. Why are they a little bit more simple? Because they're kind of like more big boulders. You roll them, they got the momentum. Penny stocks are a lot more volatile. Penny stocks look for momentum, spike up towards highs, gap up, you can keep going. As for blue chips, above the 13 EMA. You have that free scan over on Finviz. Follow that, make that money, get ready to crush it. Make sure you guys realize this every single day. We are live on tradecaster.com doing this with you guys, making sure you guys have the best plays possible. But I want to review the good, the bad, swing trades on penny stocks, swing trades on blue chips, the best indicator, what option trades, all this stuff to make sure that you are realizing what goes into an overnight hold and a multi-day hold. So crush it, use your head, and be able to make that big time profits. It is all about indicators. Everyone always asks this question. What's the best indicator? What indicator should I be using? How do I know what indicators to watch? There's so many different indicators. There's moving averages and simple moving averages and exponential moving averages. Then there's RSIs and there's MACDs and there's all these different clouds and all these different arrows and squiggly lines. How do we know which one to go? Well, I'm going to explain that to you right now. I'm going to make your life easy. So if you watch this entire lesson, by the end of this lesson, I absolutely guarantee you will know which indicators I use every single day, on which charts, and you will know why I use them as well. You'll know how to place them, you'll know how to trade them, you'll know exactly everything you need to be a successful stock trader. So what do we have here? What are stock indicators? Technical indicators are heuristic or mathematical calculations based on the price, volume, or open interest of a security. So basically, traders, this is just going to be a math equation. It's going to be a math algorithm that you don't need to do. Your scanners, your broker is going to do it for you. So when you're saying, what's the moving average over the last 50 days? You don't need to do any sort of equation. You don't need to do any sort of math. You just got to click, boom, put on the 50-day moving average, and you're all set, ready to go. But really, these whole entire indicators are to help you become a better stock trader. You want to understand that less is more. The last thing that we want to do is just be filling up our charts with so many indicators that we can't even read. There are sometimes traders that post images in chat and I got to hold my tongue a little bit. And I got to say, I don't even know what you're looking at. I have no idea how you're able to see the chart, the price, and how you're not overthinking every single move when we have so many different indicators. So there's two different types of indicators for those who do not know. There's overlays and oscillators. What we have here is overlays. Overlays, simply enough, is going to be the indicators that go over your chart, go over the candlesticks. These are going to be the squiggly lines that are going within the chart, in between the price action, in between the candlesticks. Then we also have our oscillators, which are going to be either above or underneath our chart. So starting on off here, traders, let's talk about with our overlays. And as you can see from these examples, our overlays are just going within the graph. This is when you see the red, the green, the yellow, the blue lines. They're within the graph, within the price action. We also have our oscillators, which are going to be underneath or above, depending on where you put them. It all depends on your preference, but they all do different things. So first thing that I want to talk about right now is going to be the most popular moving average, the 50-day and the 200-day moving average. Now, for anyone that's wondering, why do we use these? We use these because simply enough, they are the most popular. Every single stock trader uses the 50 and the 200-day moving average. Now, this is SMA, simple moving average. Do not set 50-day and 200-day EMA, exponential moving average, or you're going to have different prices. Everyone right now, go to tradingview.com. Type in a random stock. What automatically comes up on the chart? The 50 and the 200-day moving average. Everyone go to finviz.com. Let's do it together real quick. Let's go to Finviz, www.finviz.com. Let me click a chart right here. Gonna click LABP, okay? Guess what comes on up? The 50-day and the 200-day moving average. There is the 20. I personally don't use it, but there is the 50 and 200-day moving average. What am I trying to explain to you guys here? What I'm trying to explain is that every chart, every data, every graph, every investor is going to be using this moving average. And if they're using this moving average, this is where we're going to have a lot of strength. The more people that see that we have the 50-day moving average at whatever price, let's say $10, that is where we're going to have more influence to buy at $10 and sell our shares at $10. Same exact thing at the 200-day moving average. The 200-day moving average, if I see that everyone is selling at $100, that's where I'm going to sell. And if we can recognize this, we're going to not go against the mob. We're not going to go against the influence. We're going to be able to profit with that influence. So simple moving averages are often viewed as low risk areas to place transactions that are going to have high profits of reward. We only use these on the daily chart. So 50-day moving average, as you guys can see here, what do we have? We have bounce play off the 50-day moving average. Then we have top resistance at the 50-day moving average and top resistance at the 50-day moving average. You can also see the 50-day moving average right here on CEI. Top resistance, 50-day moving average, top resistance, top resistance, top resistance. In all reality, yes, guys, all these moving averages are another line of support and resistance that we know is going to hold up as a very strong factor. So we can always clock it in our head saying, boom, this is going to be a place that people are going to sell. Let's go ahead and take a look at literally today. on our 50-day, 200-day moving average and see what we have here. So let's take a look over on the SPY, make this a full chart. And you know what I'm going to do just to make it even clearer? Go back to like a monthly chart. Okay? Monthly chart. Monthly chart is rarely ever touched. Okay? And what do I mean by that? Is that when we hit an indicator on the monthly chart, it usually always holds up as the best dip buy. So the 13 EMA. We have not gotten to the 13 EMA, but as you guys can imagine, it's going to be another very strong influence. That is this green line. This green line, notice, whenever we're above the 13 EMA, it is considered bullish. Whenever we're underneath the 13 EMA, it is considered bearish. So just a little crash course, what we're going to get to on the 13 EMA, it's the flexible trend line. Whenever we're above the 13 EMA, you never need to sell. You can keep holding, and over time, we'll continue to move on up. But underneath the 13 EMA is where you can do put contracts and continue to hold and hold and hold. So each one of these candles represent 1 month. What if I notice we are above the 13 EMA right here at 213? I can hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up for about, 2 years straight until we crack this area. Once we crack this area, that's where I know we're starting to get a very nice drop. So it's almost like the flexible trend line telling us when we're actually going to have crashes in the market. You could see 2018, you guys could see 2021, you guys could see 2022. 13 EMA on large time frames will tell us exactly when we're actually getting these big dumps in the market. If we're bullish, we can just continue to stay strong like we are right now. But notice what the 50-day moving average is doing. The 50-day moving average is getting perfect bounce play, perfect bounce play, perfect bounce play. That's what's so magnificent about this. Let's go back over to a weekly chart. Weekly chart. Take a look right here, right behind me. You guys can see bounce play perfectly off the 200-day moving average. Look at here. Bounce play 50-day, bounce play 50-day, bounce play 50-day, bounce play 50-day. Take a look right here. Bounce play 50-day, bounce play 50-day. These are all going to be perfect areas where we can all say to ourselves, hey, this makes sense. Hey, I can understand that people are going to be buying and selling at these areas, and that's going to give us another line of support and resistance. So, as I was talking about, the 13 EMA, this is only going to be used on the daily chart as well. And this is, remember, EMA, not SMA. Now, someone take a wild guess on why I use this. Because it's the most popular. And using the most popular indicators are going to give us an idea where everyone else is going to buy and sell. You need to remember every single day when you sit down in your chair, it is not what do I want to buy today? It was what is everyone else going to buy today? Because who cares what I want? I'm one little fish in the ocean. But if I can understand what all the whales are doing and what hundreds and thousands and millions of fish are doing, well then, hey, I'm going to get an idea. But if I just say, what do I like today? Who cares what I like? What I like means nothing. I want to try to figure out what everyone else likes before they wake up, before they get into the play, before they say, oh yeah, this is a good one. I want to beat the mob, the majority of buyers, to the big spike, to the big rip, to the big run. So if I'm seeing that everyone's going to sell at the 200-day moving average or get a bounce play off the 50-day moving average or get a bounce play off the 13 EMA, that's where we are going to have a lot of success. Let's take a look at a few other plays. Now let's go to a daily chart here. Daily chart. And let's type out, let's go Tesla. Tesla, daily chart. Let's do a couple different things. 13 EMA. I'm going to go to indicators, go to edit. Let's go to get rid of the 200-day. Boom. Let's get rid of the 50-day. Boom. And let's just look at the 13 EMA and try to figure out how can we be able to trade this. So the best thing for you to be able to do is just always say to yourself, I want to be a swing trader, which means I want to hold for multiple days. I don't want to hold for a very small period of time. I can see that the 13 EMA, this green line, held this entire way on up. As long as we are above this area, we are considered bullish. Even though we have big red days, we don't need to sell. Then what do you realize? Well, we also have a big drop all the way back on down. Big drop all the way back on down. Guess what? We are bearish. You don't need to be scared out on a green day, right? You can do the same exact thing all the way on the way back on up. Say, all right, I want to hold for a few days or as long as the 13 EMA holds. And you can make money on this way. You can also see, right here, or if you wanted to, let's go right towards this mark, which is going to be bearish, 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 bearish. And you could be able to hold it from here to here and be able to make all this money on puts as the entire stock starts falling on down. So is it going to be 100% perfect? No, nothing's 100% perfect in the stock market. But what I will tell you is that it's going to give you an amazing idea of if I should be bullish or if I should be bearish at this time. And having that amazing idea is definitely going to help give us some more clarity on if I should be going in on this play or out of this play. Like right now, I see that Tesla is bearish. So having Tesla bearish, that is extremely important to me. All right, because now I don't want to be going against the mob, against the momentum, saying, hey, maybe I should be going on the call side, right? We don't want that. So let's keep this party going here. We learned about the 50-day. We learned about the 200-day. We're learning about the 13 EMA. Remember, we're only using those on the daily chart. Now, there is something very important. Why? Why only the daily chart? Because let's go ahead and let's re-add these indicators right here. Why do we only use them over on the daily chart? And the big issue is when you use them on the 1, 2, 3, or 5 minute chart, they are going to change too much in value. The daily chart is where they always are going to be on. So I'm going to add the 50-day moving average here. We're going to go indicators. We're going to add. We're going to scroll on down to SMA. We're going to put 50-day moving average. Bada boom. Great. Now, we are going to go over to a 1 minute time frame. Now, you might say, all right, I'm in on a 1 minute time frame right here. Let's bring up SMCI. The 1 minute time frame over on SMCI shows us that that bounce play is going to be at 1,062.70. That's what it shows me. But now let's switch on over to a 3 minute time frame. And no. Now what are we talking about? Now the bounce play is at 1,036. What are you talking about? No, I'm trading in a 5 minute time frame right now. No, now the bounce plays at 1,000 and not. So as you can see, there's too much confusion. When there's too much confusion, that's not worth it for us to trade. We want the idea that every single person is going to be showing up at the same time. Imagine if we had a party, right? We had a surprise party, guys. Surprise party for me. I'm throwing myself my own surprise party. Pretty sad. But I'm going to be walking through the door at 8 o'clock. But I tell some people, get there at 9 o'clock. Some people get there at 6 o'clock. Some people get there right at 7:30. Some people are going to be there. Some people might be walking in. It's going to be like a half surprise. Surprise. I want that full-blown surprise for my private surprise birthday party. Okay? I planned way too hard for my surprise birthday party for me not to be getting the #1 reaction saying, I can't believe you guys all showed up. Oh, for me? Oh. Traders, we need it all on the same page. And the only way to get it all on the same page is from the daily chart. Okay? The daily chart is how we're going to get it all on the same page. But you will see that the 50-day and the 1, 2, 3, 5, 200-day, 1, 2, 3, 5, that is going to be way too different, right? So that's not what we want. So you might be, again, noticing something right now. Saying, all right, Dek, I got you. Daily chart, 50-day, 200-day, 13 EMA. That's going to be where everyone's on the same page. And we can see there another level of support and resistance. We can see when we come down to these areas, we get dip buys. When we come up to these areas, that's where we have resistance. It's another area for us to be able to know when to buy, know when to sell, know when to be able to look for reversals, and get an idea when the momentum's going to shift. Perfect. But Dek, I see that you do have an indicator over on your 1, 2, 3, 5 minute chart. This is going to be the VWAP. The VWAP is the volume weighted average price. Now, want to see something crazy about the VWAP right here? VWAP, we are right now, right around 1,040. Let's change this on down here. Guess where we're still at? 1,040 in a 3 minute chart. Guess where we're at in a 2 minute chart? Still at 1,040. Now again, we change this over to a 1 minute chart. Guess where we're still at? Right next to 1,040. Let's change this back to, again, a 5 minute chart. Guess where we're at? 1,040. Let's go back to a 10 minute chart. Where are we at? 1,040. We're all on the same page. I'm trying to have the best surprise party for myself ever. We're all on the same page here. Can you see where the issue was with the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute chart with the 50-day and 200-day and 13 EMA? Can you see how the VWAP though doesn't change? So if it doesn't change, that's bringing us clarity. And now I know, hey, this is going to be a great area for dip buy and bounces. Just like we bounced right here and bounced here and bounced here and bounced here. It's almost going to be the same exact thing as the 13 EMA, but in a minute chart, not on a daily swing trade type of idea. Where on the actual day, we can say, hey, we are bullish as long as we stay above this VWAP area. We are bullish as long as we stay above that VWAP area. Let's take a look at some other charts here. See if, we can stay bullish as long as we stay above this VWAP area. Well, in this case, over on the SPY, what can you guys realize? You can actually see the SPY went underneath it and was bearish and bearish and bearish and bearish and bearish until we broke back on up. So it's like, it's really neat. I use it a ton when it comes down to penny stocks and penny stock trading, where we can, take a look over on some plays and know when to actually start pulling the trigger, maybe on some possible shorts. Like KULR. KULR, nice spike. Bounce play, bounce play, bounce play, bounce play. Is it odd? Does anyone think it's weird that we're always getting the perfect bounce plays right off the black line? No, that's where everyone's buying. That's where everyone's getting their dip buys. That's where everyone's looking to get filled on these bounce plays. BACK was the #1 top gainer over on Friday. Let's take a look at how this reacted. BACK, #1 top gainer on Friday, bounce play, bounce play, bounce play. Then guess what happened? It cracked underneath it. Cracked underneath it. Hey, plays over, resistance, 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 and sell off, right? So we can see how that happens. We can see how great that is where we stay above it, then we go underneath it, then we sell on off. That is huge for us. That is awesome and really cool to be able to recognize. Now, let's keep this party going here, traders, a little bit more. And what we have at this time is we can actually take a look over on our next level of indicators, which are no longer overlays. Now we're heading to the top and bottom, and that is going to be our RSI. RSI stands for Relative Strength Index. It is going to be giving us numbers from 0 to 100. Anything that is underneath a 30 is oversold. Anything that is above an 70 is overbought. So we really have 0 to 100. If you're underneath the price of 30, you're oversold. What do traders do that have oversold stocks? Oversold stocks, they look to dip buy. What do traders do when they have overbought stocks? When a stock is overbought, they look to lock in profits. So for this example, take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft, we are underneath the 30. Guess what happens? It's oversold. People push it back on up. Take a look right here. Overbought. Guess what happens? The stock falls. Falls until it's oversold. Guess what happens? Spikes back on up. Spikes back on up till it's overbought. Guess what happens? We fall back on down. Let's look at today's examples. Let's go over, go here, add our indicators. So let's go to indicators. Let's add our RSI, Relative Strength Index. You always want it set to 14. That's just always the default. And we'll be all set, ready to rock and roll here. So let's bring this on up. Let's talk about what we have. Let's look at some blue chip plays just so it's nice, easy, simple, and we have some true clarity here. So I'm going back over to a daily chart. Let me go over to a daily chart so we can be able to see this. This is another, indicator that I personally always like to use daily charts on, just because it's going to give us more of factual clarity. It's going to help us out a lot better than just using a minute chart. Minute chart changes too much. There's too many variables. So what do we have here, team? Simply enough, we already can see in the bottom right-hand corner, anything that is underneath the price of a 30. 30 is going to be right here. That is going to be when we're considered oversold. When you're oversold, watch for the moves to come back on up. Anything above a 70, which is right here, is going to mean that we're going to start being overbought, which means there's a great chance that we're going to start falling back on down. So let's take a look at this chart and let's see where we're at here. So first things first, that really stands out to me, right? First things first, that really stands on out. From here to here, we are extremely overbought. Now, why are we overbought? Scroll on down, scroll on down, scroll on down. Guess what? We have an 85.90 on the RSI all the way in this region, right? Right behind me. 85.90. Guess what happened once we started getting too overbought? We had this massive sell-off. We also see the RSI then start coming all the way back on down. Pretty awesome to recognize. Now, what do you guys realize when we have this bottom area? That bottom area also lines up great showing that bottom area. Notice where we're at, a 30 on the RSI. Traders and investors are now saying to themselves, hey, wait a minute, we're now oversold. If we're oversold, this is a great dip buying opportunity, which means we move our way back on up. And then we usually go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But when we have over a 70 on the RSI, or when we have over a 70, when we have these areas, it's going to definitely tell us when we could look for reversals, when we can look for drops, when we can look for good indications that things are going to start falling in the near future. So you can do this on Meta. You can do this on Amazon. You can do this on any sort of big play to know when is a pullback going to come. Now, it doesn't have to be the biggest pullback in the world, but it is going to tell you when there's going to be selling. Every little top notch that broke a 70 is followed by a pullback. Every little top notch that breaks a 70 is followed with a pullback. Every little top notch, even though we're still consistently moving on up, you can see how we still have week-long drops. Those week-long drops are from the RSI indicator showing us that we are now considered overbought. So that is going to be absolutely awesome and absolutely great. So traders, when it comes on down to what are going to be our main indicators, on our daily chart right here, we are only going to be using 50-day SMA, 200 SMA, and 13 EMA. Overlays, different areas of support and resistance. As for minute charts, guys, what are we using? Minute charts, we are using the VWAP and the VWAP only. 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes. That's going to change. As for the RSI, that is going to be our oscillator, which is going to be underneath on the daily chart as well. Are there more indicators out there? Of course there are. There is going to be a MACDs. There's going to be different clouds, different indicators. Average directional index. Sure, let's throw it on. Let's add it. True range. Why not? Let's add it. Bollinger Bands, let's add it. Demarker, let's add it. Detention channels, why not? Throw it on there. Multi-period, throw it on there. MACD, of course I need that. Are you kidding me? Let's throw in another VWAP. William percentage, of course I like William. Let's go dollar value. Who doesn't like money? And bada boom, bada bang. I'm